University of Pittsburgh Panthers against the Penn State Nittany Lions. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Black & Decker's Workmate. When you've got a tough job to handle, it's like having an extra pair of hands. And by Invicta, makers of Mastermind, a game of cunning and logic. One of the East's great rivalries, and again, the Lambert Trophy. Eastern supremacy at stake today as you take a look at the series record. A series that dates all the way back to 1893. Penn State holding a slight edge. They've won 3 more times than Pitt. Last year, Penn State won it 17-10, scoring 10 points in the last 5 minutes of the game. And Penn State has held a decided edge in recent years. The Nittany Lions have won 12 of the last 13 meetings between these two schools. Hello again, everybody. I'm Al Michaels, and we're taking a look at 2 teams that have had good years. The Pitt Panthers lost their 2nd game of the season to North Carolina, but since then they have reeled off 8 straight wins. They come in 9-1. They're ranked 11th in the nation. They'll go to the Fiesta Bowl in Tempe, Arizona on Christmas Day to meet either Alabama or Arizona. The Nittany Lions of Penn State have a record of 7-3 under Joe Paterno in his 14th season. They are also bowl bound. You'll see the Liberty Bowl on ABC on the 22nd of December when Penn State takes on Tulane in Memphis. This is just the first half of a big college football doubleheader today, because at 4 o'clock Eastern time, we'll go a little bit east of here to Philadelphia, JFK Stadium for the annual Army-Navy game, 4 o'clock Eastern time. One key factor to keep in mind today, it was basically the same situation last year, the strong wind in this Nittany Valley in north central Pennsylvania. You take a look at the flags rippling in the breeze right now, which is gusting at about 20 miles an hour, and it's blowing right to left as we'll look at the field today. Last year, the breeze going the other way. It was a strong one, and all of the points, all 27 in last year's game, were scored downwind. So it's Penn State and Pitt in just a moment. We'll preview the Pitt Panthers and also talk with Pitt head coach Jackie Sherrill. The Pitt Panthers come in more confident than they've been since 1976, their national championship season when they had Tony Dorsett, and that was the last time they beat Penn State. Pitt has a situation in which they started a junior quarterback by the name of Rick Tricano earlier in the season. And Tricano had played for the most part through the early stages of 1979. However, he went down with a hamstring injury in the Navy game. He is a good option quarterback and the better runner of the Pitt quarterbacking pair. But the man who will start today and probably see most of the action is one of the most highly recruited freshmen in the country. He comes from the Pitt neighborhood. He grew up within the shadows of the Pitt campus. Number 13, Dan Marino, who has completed 61% of his passes this season. His leading receiver right there. Number 84, the tight end, Benji Pryor. On defense, what about this man? Just a junior, unanimous All-America pick last year as a sophomore. Probably the same again. Number 99, Hugh Green. Fast, lithe, out of Natchez, Mississippi, leads the team in tackles. The head coach at Pitt in his 3rd season, he took over when Johnny Majors went to Tennessee, is Jackie Sherrill, who was an assistant at Pitt under Majors, also coached under Johnny at Iowa State. I talked with Sherrill yesterday at practice.
Jackie, the wind will obviously play such a big part in the game. Will this affect your offensive strategy in any way?
Well, it'll affect the kicking game more than in the offense. Danny's got a strong arm, and he can throw the ball into the wind, you know, with anybody. And it'll affect their passing game probably a little more than it will us. But the wind will be a factor, no question about it. But the wind will be the factor in the kicking game more than it will in the throwing game.
If Marino does have problems going into the wind, might you tend to go to Tricano in situations where you are going into the wind?
Well, we'll still run the option, you know. We can run it with Danny or Ricky, so it really doesn't make any difference.
Jackie, a record of 9-1, the team ranked 11th. Do you think that's a fair assessment at this point this season relative to the other teams in the country?
Well, I think so, but we'll find out tomorrow. You know, you got to play it, and you certainly got to play, you know, from the beginning of the year, starting in September through what it is now, December. So we'll find out tomorrow, because this is the climax of the whole season.
Just a guess, how many points will it take to win?
Well, I think it'll probably have to take 17 at least to win, but I don't know. If we score 1-2 points with a safety and win, I'll be very happy.
Good luck, Jackie.
Thank you very much.
A Pitt preview, a talk with Jackie Sherrill, and in just a moment, back to preview the Nittany Lions of Penn State, and we'll chat with Joe Paterno. Temperature around 25 degrees in State College, Pennsylvania today as we take a preview look now at the Penn State Nittany Lions. They call this area of north central Pennsylvania Happy Valley. It's really Nittany Valley. It has not exactly been Somber Valley this year, but it hasn't been the Valley of Delirium either, because Penn State has had a lot of problems, especially with injuries. There are some of the offensive standouts. You can see Jim Brown, the offensive tackle, has missed the entire season. Kurt Warner is an outstanding freshman tailback. They think he is 100% today. They've really been hurt, though, defensively. As we take a look at it graphically, Bruce Clark was the best lineman in the country, won the Lombardi Award last year. He had knee surgery. He's gone. Matt Millen, All-America, he's gone. And also Lance Mel, not listed there, is questionable today. He hasn't practiced since their last game against Temple. Declared academically ineligible, those three men right there prior to the season, all three would have been starters this season. So it's been a tough year for Joe Paterno, the erudite coach in his 14th year at the Penn State helm. I talked to Joe in his office yesterday.
Joe, with all of the problems, especially the injuries, which we've just chronicled, that have occurred this year, what sort of a toll has this taken on you personally?
Well, I'm still able to play. But well, it's been a tough year. It's probably as difficult a year as I've had coaching, and I think, but in a lot of ways, one of the more rewarding ones, because we have had problems, and we generally have overcome most of them. We've got a decent football team, and we're ready to play a good football game today. But it's one of those things, if you're in coaching long enough, you got to expect it. Some years everything goes along very nicely, and then other years you get your bumps and your bruises, and you just got to swing with the punches.
Are you pleased with the progress the team has made, especially in the last couple of weeks?
I am, and I think that one of the, if there is any good that comes out of a series of things that have happened to us that have happened this year, is the fact that you start playing younger people, and you're building for the future. And we're a very young football team, and I've been very pleased with the young people. When we've put them in, they've responded to the challenge, and they've played very well.
Let me ask you the same question I asked Jackie Sherrill. How many points will it take to win?
Oh, gee, I wouldn't know. Jackie's smarter than I am. I haven't got the slightest idea. Hope not too many, because I don't think we can score a lot of points against a very fine Pitt defense. I think their defense is an outstanding one. All I'd like to see is if we could get 2 touchdowns, a field goal, I think that ought to be enough to win for either team. But
a great sense of anticipation and excitement permeating the Nittany Valley as a crowd of about 76,000 settles in at Beaver Stadium for one of the East's great rivalries, Penn State and Pitt. Stay tuned for the 79th meeting between the Pitt Panthers and the Penn State NCAA college football. From Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania, a traditional rivalry between 11th-ranked Pittsburgh and Penn State. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your participating Chevy dealers, who invite you to come take a special test drive during Chevy's National Economy Drive. By Kodak. A Kodak gift brings joy all year long. By Light Beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Mr. Goodwrench and the General Motors Parts Division, who help you keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts. That's appropriate. Santa Claus is here. It's December the 1st. A week ago today it was 70 degrees. Right now it's 25 degrees. But they're sold out at Beaver Stadium in State College on the Penn State campus. Welcome back. Al Michaels joined today by Frank Broyles. And Frank, as we take a look at the statistics offensively, Penn State seems to be a team that is dominated by their ground game. They run a lot. Pitt, the opposite. They like to go to the air and pass, especially with Danny Marino. So how do you see it today?
Well, Al, both coaches told me yesterday that they have great respect for the defensive units of both teams, and therefore they think their most pressing need in this ball game, and probably the key factor to determine the outcome, is the ability of one of the teams to establish a mixture offensively and defensively, and thereby they compromise the strategy of the other team's defense, and that's a big factor.
Who would have the better chance of balancing their attack at this point in the season?
Well, I believe that Pittsburgh will, Al, because they've already established the toughest thing in football, which is the passing game. They've got to move the ball because Joe Paterno will put a heavy rush on freshman quarterback Marino. And when you can run the football, Al, you compromise the strategy, and it makes it an easier time for the quarterback.
Interesting fact, Pittsburgh has not won a game on grass in their last 5. Jackie Sherrill, despite the fact that Pitt plays at Pitt Stadium, an artificial surface, he's taken his team to another field to work on grass. Is that simply an aberration, or does that really have some meaning?
No, it has some meaning. I think when we practice on AstroTurf most of the time and play on grass, it has an effect because most of us feel the traction is so pronounced on artificial turf that you can square the corners, where on grass you have to round off the corners, and it can make a difference in the pass routes of the Pitt team.
You take a look at the Pittsburgh Panthers, who have made their entry onto the natural surface at Beaver Stadium, and here come the Nittany Lions. The roar going up in State College, a record of 7-3, Liberty Bowl bound to meet Tulane on the 22nd of December. So Penn State 7-3, Pitt 9-1. The Lambert Trophy for Eastern supremacy at stake today. Back with a kickoff in a moment. A whole group down on the field. The reason is it's the final regular season game for both schools, so the captains are all of the seniors of the respective teams. The man on crutches is Bruce Clark. Last year, the Lombardi winner. He underwent knee surgery, played in the first 7 games this season. And let's listen in for the coin toss. The referee is Ray Bauer. Take a look at Bruce Clark.
I'm going to catch it. If we drop it, we'll throw it again. Give it a call. Hey. Calls ahead. It's ahead. You've won the toss.
All right. We want to kick off.
Oh, wait. Go ahead. What do you want to do?
We want to kick off and defend this goal.
No, you'll take one choice. You'll take a goal or you will kick or receive.
We'll take this goal.
All right.
You'll
defend this. No, you'll take that goal.
I will kick off.
You're going to kick off? He wants to kick off. Which way do you fellas want to go? We're kicking off. That means you're getting the ball. Which way do you want to take it? Huh?
This is interesting byplay here.
Al,
you get one choice.
I think what happens is, let's listen.
Or you're going to choose a goal.
You're going to kick.
You're going to kick. All right, now you choose the goal. You will receive that.
They can take the win and the ball, which is a mistake, I believe.
Exactly. What Pitt really wanted to do was go with the wind in the first quarter.
And then the Penn State would choose to receive.
Exactly.
And they fumble the ball right there.
Exactly. And Freddie Jacobs out there to make the decision.
And so is Jackie Sherrill.
Yep. He's not happy about it either. In the meantime, we can take a look at the Penn State offense. They apparently will get the ball. Dale Tate, the quarterback. Mike Booman is the tailback. He scored 3 TDs against Pitt the last 2 years. Matt Suey is their leading ground gainer. Tom Donovan has been injured, but he is back in the starting lineup today. And Brad Scoville is a very good tight end, as is Ron LaPointe. Back from an injury. Penn State off times, lining up with 2 tight ends. So the Panthers, Jacobs made the mistake. What they wanted to do was go with the win, and then he got confused. And as you can see, the referee explaining to him, you only have one option. He opted for the wrong one.
What happens, Al, I've said it so many times in the huddle that we'll take the win and kick off. What I mean by that is we'll take the win, the other team will choose to receive. They won't give us the win and the ball, and that's what happened. I'm sure that Freddie Jacobs just got, well, Coach Sherrill told me we'll take the win and kick off. Well, he meant the other option going to Penn State. Confusing, but at least they'll have the win in the second quarter.
Back deep for Penn State. The receivers, Kurt Warner, the freshman, number 25, and Joel Coles, number 20. So Penn State not only gets to receive, but they will have the wind at their backs here in the first period. And the breeze gusting at close to 20 miles an hour. As we'll look at the field throughout the day, the wind a key factor, blowing right to left. Kicking off for Pittsburgh, Dave Trout, ready to put it in the air, and here we go. The 79th meeting between Penn State and Pitt. The kick is picked up at the 8-yard line by Coles, who comes back out to the 22. Up front For Penn State, they have Bill Dugan, number 77, on the left side at tackle. Sean Farrell, number 62. Bob Jaggers in the middle, a junior from Washington, D.C. Mike Munchak is a sophomore from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Irv Pankey is a converted tight end. He is a senior from Aberdeen, Maryland, playing the tackle slot. First down, Penn State from the 22-yard line. And they use motion on the first play as Suey is stopped at the line of scrimmage by Greg Meissner. The Pitt defense, Hugh Green and Ricky Jackson are the men to watch. Green gets all of the publicity, but Jackson is an excellent defensive end, number 87. Pelosi and Fidel are the linebackers. Terry White, the left corner, has had a great year, number 23. Jackie Sherrill thinks he's made a whale of a difference for Pitt defensively. Second down and 10 from the 22. Goulman gets it out to the 30-yard line where Hugh Green is there to make the tackle. Green is listed as a defensive end. As you look at Danny Marino, the freshman quarterback, 6'4", from Pittsburgh, Central Catholic High School, loosening up on the side. Green, I started to say, listed as a defensive end, but sometimes you'll see him in a tackle spot. Other times he'll be a linebacker.
Al, they move him wherever they think the opponents are going to run the football. That's where they would like to line him up.
Third down and 2 from the 30-yard line, and it's Goulman out to close to the 32-yard line. It looks like he is shy of the first down. Greg Meissner made the tackle.
Shy of the first down, Al, and let me just say to the viewers that when you stop a team the first time they have the ball, it's a big confidence builder and has an effect the rest of the first quarter.
Especially after you make a mistake on the decision at the coin toss and you stop the team that's going with the win. Ralph Giacomaro, very good freshman punter, to kick it away for Penn State with the win. A low kick, but has good distance. JoJo Heath from the 23, looking for the wall, gets to the 30, the 35, and a good run back to the 42-yard line. For Pitt offensively, it's Danny Marino, the starter at quarterback. He's been the starter since the Syracuse game. Randy McMillan, JC transfer out of the state of Maryland. Brewster Jones, the other running back, number 2. Ralph Still is the team's second leading receiver, number 88. Cliff Moore plays the other side. We'll also see a lot of Kenny Bowles. And Benji Pryor, with 40 catches, leads the team in that department, the tight end. Pittsburgh, first down from the Panther 42-yard line as they shift into the I. The tailback is Rooster Jones, and it's McMillan, the fullback, over the left side for a yard. It'll be second down and 9. Up front, it's Bob Gruber, number 64. At left tackle, Dan Fiddler, a good one, out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Russ Grimm is a junior. Emil Boris from Norristown, Pennsylvania, just a sophomore. And Mark May, just a junior, 6'5", 280, could very well next season be the best offensive lineman in the country. Second down and 9 from the 43-yard line. McMillan over right guard, picks up 4 to the 48-yard line. Greg Jones and Ron Walchak are there to make the stop. Defensively, the decimated Penn State core. Joe Paterno keeping this unit together with paste and glue and band-aids. Kubin is outstanding, number 74, the left end. The linebackers, Mel has been bothered with a back injury, but he's in there right now. And the secondary. Third down and 5. Danny Marino in the pocket, has time, and goes to Pryor, complete for the first down to the Penn State 34-yard line. Benji Pryor, a junior from Arnold, Pennsylvania.
From the end zone, let's watch Marino set up in the pocket and throw the ball right on target to Pryor, the tight end, the leading receiver. Let's watch how Pryor gets open in behind the linebackers as Bradley, number 30, had two brothers playing here at Penn State, was covering but could not contain him.
On first down, the draw, McMillan over the left side. He gets 2. Down to the 33-yard line, Pete Kugler, 57, and Larry Kubin, 74, making the stop. So Pitt going into the teeth of a strong wind. Second down, 8 at the 33-yard line. 3.5 minutes into the game, no score. Second and 8. protected well. We've got a marker down, and the pass is incomplete. But a flag on the play. The pass intended for Rooster Jones, number 2. Illegal motion against Pittsburgh.
Now, I don't believe that Mel is starting, is he? 94, his substitute, is in the lineup now.
Chet Parlavecchio, 94. Yep.
So Mel back is giving him problem. Normally, after a penalty, you would worry about making a first down, but not with Marino with a rifle arm that he possesses.
Second down and 13. Parlavecchio indeed in the lineup. Defensively, the linebacker for Penn State as Pitt comes up with one setback. That's McMillan in a passing formation on second down and 13. And the straight drop by Marino. Good protection. Has time, and then it's intercepted. 39-yard line by Steve Griffiths. Number 52, a junior from Utica, New York.
From the end zone, I believe we can see that Marino is trying to throw the ball between the linebackers, but Steve Griffiths, 6'5", 235, broke right in front of him. Griffiths, number 52, an outstanding linebacker. You can see that he's watching Marino, a good linebacker, watches the quarterback and breaks wherever his eyes tell him to go. Excellent play by Steve Griffiths.
That's only Marino's third interception in his last 116 passes. So 10:55 to go, first quarter. Pitt nothing, Penn State nothing. So right after this one, on to Philadelphia in a game which was first played in 1890, Army-Navy. This one first played in 1893, Pitt and Penn State. As Penn State starts first and 10 from the 30-yard line, Tate after faking throws to Scoville out of the 35-yard line. So Dale Tate, who took over for Chuck Fusina, that's LaPointe who made the catch. Number 90, the other tight end out of Holliston, Massachusetts.
Al following up on the strategy of Paterno. He said he's going to throw on early downs, try to compromise the Pitt rush.
Second down and 5. Penn State from the 35-yard line. Mike Gooman to the short side of the field, and it's Hugh Green wrapping him up. Number 99, Hugh Green, just a junior out of Natchez, Mississippi. Green is 6'5", he's only 215. He is a good enough athlete, though. You know he could be a tight end. You know he could be fullback.
I was going to say the same thing, Al.
Yep.
He is an outstanding player. He's like a tiger. He can just cover all over the field and really make the big plays.
They keep him to the wide side of the field on third down and 3. Pitt nearly jumped offside, but Boyarsky is able to get back across the line, and they give it to Kuhlman. Nothing doing. He is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Meisner, Boyarsky, and Neal. The middle of the defensive unit, all there. So Penn State will have to kick again with the freshman Ralph Giacomo coming in to boot it away.
This Pittsburgh defense is 7th in the nation in rushing defense, allowing only 103 yards per game.
Giacomo kicking with the wind. Angles it to the far side. Bounces it to 23 and then fumbled there. But it looks like Pitt has it. They do. Wallace Thomas was the man who fumbled it, and JoJo Heath alertly pounced on it to keep possession for Pitt. 9:28 to go in the first quarter. No score.
Pittsburgh first and 10 at their own.
Let's go back quickly and look at the fumble. Thomas, the halfback, once the ball hits the ground, coaches say get away from it, leave it alone. Don't touch it.
JoJo Heath recovering it. So Pitt from the 13-yard line, and it's McMillan through the middle out to the 32-yard line. Matt Bradley catches up with him there. McMillan made a big difference for Pitt early in the season. He has not been 100% physically since about mid-season. JC transferred from the state of Maryland, went to North Hartford. JC picks up the first down out to the 31-yard line. McMillan, the sole running back. Nice hold. Picks up 5 to the 36. Leo Wisniewski, number 61, the tackle.
Al, the strategy that Pittsburgh seems to be using on first down is try to pop right through up the middle, trying to make as much yardage as possible, keeping that defense honest and keep them rushing.
And that would figure to be good strategy, especially going into the wind as Pitt is right now.
Good point.
Second down and 5. Marino scrambling out. Cross field, incomplete. Ralph Still was the intended receiver. Marino is now 1 out of 3.
Now, one thing that I've noticed looking at the film yesterday on Marino from the game that we did earlier against Syracuse is his ability to scramble. Against Syracuse early, he stayed in the pocket too long. This game, in this first quarter, he's come out, bought some time, and got the pass off.
He has remarkable poise for a freshman. Out of Central Catholic High in Pittsburgh, McMillan on the draw. First down and bulls out to the 48-yard line. Mickey Urquhart made the tackle along with Ron Walchak. Walchak, number 40.
Ron Walchak,
We
Mickey
said from the
Urquhart.
insult, watch the blocking. This is to take advantage of the big rush, and it opens up a hole right up the middle, and McMillan shows that he is well for this ball game, Al. The coaches said he's been hampered by injuries for the last 3 or 4 weeks, but he's completely healed for this game.
They give him a rest on this play now as Wayne D. Bartola comes in to spell him at fullback. Number 31. First down. Pitt from the 48. Bartola. Marino rolling right. Throws into traffic and incomplete at the 49-yard line. Cliff Moore, the intended receiver.
A little bit of a screen pass. You take advantage of the big rush. The strategy for Joe Paterno has got to be to put pressure on this young freshman quarterback. Heavy pressure. And the way to take advantage of that is by trapping up the middle, draw, and screen. And those are the plays that Pittsburgh are using at this time.
The Panthers at the 48-yard line. 2nd and 10. No score. 7:56 to play. First quarter. Incomplete, leading his receiver, number 88, Ralph Still. A bit too much, and the penalty marker is down.
Pass defense, I believe, Al. Double cover on the wide receiver Still. Let's see if what they call, but it looked like pass defense.
The flag is down back of the line of scrimmage. Ineligible receiver.
That's a formation problem. What happened, Al, he changed the play at the line of scrimmage, and the man up on the line Still was too close and made the tight end ineligible. Tough break.
So the Panthers are pushed all the way back to the 33-yard line. And going into the wind. Second down, 25. Jones and McMillan are the running backs. Marino rolling right. And complete to the 37 to Jones, who broke a tackle and then fell down at the 42-yard line. Rooster Jones.
That's what we said earlier. When you've been playing on artificial turf and you cut with the velocity that you can with the traction, then you do the same way on grass. Your feet can go out from under you, and that's what happened to Rooster Jones.
Slipping down at the 42. It's 3rd down and 16. 7:20 to play, first quarter. No score. On 3rd and 16, Marino gets hit as he throws, complete to Benji Pryor, who's out of bounds at about the 45, shy of the first down. But Marino hit as he threw, and still a good pass.
By Larry Kubin. Let's look at the isolated receiver. Benji Pryor, number 84, just going to the outside, and watch the throw by Marino as it comes right to it. The concentration by Pryor, the leading receiver, tries to make a first down. He's a little bit short, and they have elected, no, Marino is punting for him. We talked about that earlier.
Danny Marino to do the kicking.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. You're right. But they've got Tricano, at least for the moment, lined up over center. Then he vacates that spot. The snap, and Marino's kick is not a very good one. Out of bounds, and they'll mark it at the 35-yard line. So Penn State taking over at that spot. 6:52 to go in the period. Nothing. A 10-yard kick. Wide World of Sports returning next week. Great lineup in December on Wide World. War Gymnastics on the 15th. The Flaming Leaves International Ice Skating Exhibition on the 22nd. And a memorable tour of the greatest moments in sports history on December the 29th on Wide World. First down, Penn State from the 35 after the bad kick, and Tate is incomplete. Throwing down to the Pitt 40-yard line where Tom Donovan was the intended receiver. Not a good pass at all, though, by Tate.
No, it wasn't. The wind caught it. It looked like Al, but here's the strategy. Twice on 2 possessions, Penn State failed to make a first down. They've come back and opened up with a double wing, throwing a straight drop back pass on first down.
It's 2nd and 10. They have Kurt Warner, freshman and a tailback, number 25. He's been bothered by a hamstring pull since early in the season. He had a remarkable beginning, though, as they send him in motion to the left. And the handoff goes to Suey through the middle. Big hole into Pitt territory. Suey with one man to beat inside the 20, inside the 10. Touchdown. That's Suey, number 32, a senior, having a terrific career at Penn State. The man who leads the team in rushing goes 65 yards through a gaping hole, and he has good speed.
Coaches told me yesterday that he can run a 4.5. He weighs 220. He's just an outstanding player. That was a spectacular run.
So Penn State draws first blood. Herb Minhart to try the point after. And it's good.
Let's go back to the end zone. It's going to be a trap right up the middle. The defense are charging. You can see the guard pull and trap and the big hole. Now watch the safety man. I believe it was Heath, number 36, misses the tackle right there. Then finally Thomas, number 3, misses the tackle. And Suey shows what speed he has. Goes all the way for the score. Just a remarkable run right up the middle of the defense.
So Joe Paterno has watched his Chargers take a 7-0 lead. Been a strange year for Joe. They started out with a win over Rutgers, then 2 losses.
Let's watch it again from the line side, from the side. Watch the right guard pull and watch the blocking develop. It's a quick trap right up the middle. Then you'll see Heath miss the tackle, and then Thomas, number 3. Watch the speed. Watch the speed of Suey. Right there, outrun Thomas, number 3, for the touchdown.
So Suey has given everybody an early Christmas present. 7-0 Penn State with 6:37 to go in the first quarter.
Penn State's first down was a 60-yard touchdown run.
Suey, what a great family tradition background. His maternal grandfather was a coach here for 19 years. His dad was an All-American guard. He had 2 brothers that played here. Matt Suey, a senior from right here in State College, PA. The kick fielded by JoJo Heath, and he'll down it in the end zone. First down, Pitt at the 20-yard line. Everybody bundled up. They expected some snow flurries today, but it's been rather nice, all things considered. The temperature is only 25, but the sun trying to break through.
It's much better day than it was yesterday. It was cold yesterday, Al. And when I watched Pittsburgh practice, had to leave the field.
Suey with one more touchdown with Ty Capoletti for 3rd place behind Mitchell and Pittman. As Pitt takes over at the 20-yard line. And McMillan gets about 3 to the 23.
And that's interesting strategy by Penn State is to double cover the wide receivers on every play so far. You would think that they'd put a little more rush, but I think that Joe Paterno, with the offense going into the wind, wants to double cover and defend with their secondary.
Interesting. We could see a switch there maybe in the second quarter when the situation is different. Second down and 7 from the 23. That's Rooster Jones in motion. And McMillan, the ball carrier, he has a hole through the middle out to the 31 and a first down. Pete Kugler made the tackle, number 57.
Al, it was the identical play that Suey of Penn State ran for the touchdown. The quick trap right up the middle. What it does, it compromises the hard rush by the guards and tackles. Trap them, let them across the let them across the line, and then trap them outside, creating the hole.
First down, Pittsburgh. The Panthers at their own 31. Penn State leads 7-0. 5.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. The fullback is Dean Bartola. He has room through the middle and out to the 38-yard line. So both teams are moving well right through the middle.
And each time it's the trap play, as I said earlier. It's used primarily to make the defense read blocks out. As we sit from the end zone, let's watch the trap again. When we speak of trap, the guard is going to pull to the left and trap number 94 out to the outside and open up the hole right between the guards.
Great angle. You can see exactly what you're talking about. Second down, a short 3 from the 39. Moore in motion. And it's McMillan out to close to the 42-yard line. We'll see about forward progress. They do give him the first down. Larry Kubin made the tackle.
I think we should mention again, Al, that Lance Bell, the great linebacker that Joe Paterno says is on a par with any linebackers they've had, has not played. His substitute, Lavecchio, is in the game, number 94.
Bell, bothered by a back injury, suited up, listed as the starter, but not in there. First down at the 42-yard line. Nearly intercepted. The defensive play made by Ron Walczak, number 40.
That Mel.
There's Mel now, number 56.
Watching it in, so Mel has back into the game, and when you watch Marino, you can see that he's reading the defensive coverage and really shoots the ball out. But Walczak is there to break it up. Double covering again, Al.
Still is wide to the left. Moore is wide to the right on 2nd and 10 from the 42. Marino dumps it off for McMillan. He gets a nice block as he cuts back in. The 50, 45, inside the 40, still on his feet inside the 30, and finally wrestled down at the 15-yard line. Is he tough?
That's one of the most sensational runs I have seen this year. He ran over, and when we watch it again, let's count the people. It's a screen pass. Let's count the people that try to tackle McMillan. There's one that misses him, 52. Griffiths can't get to him because of the block. 45 misses him. Finally, 36. Urquhart misses him. He cuts back, and Harris finally turns him to the inside for the tackle.
Grover Edwards, number 45, had the best shot at him, but he tried to block him down instead of arm tackle him. At the 16-yard line, it's first down for Pitt. And it's Rooster Jones going nowhere. Greg Jones, number 99, had him by the shirt.
What an unusual time to run a delayed play. The defense was lined up perfectly for penetration, and Jones, number 99, was unaccounted for and threw Jones for the loss. Jones tackled Jones.
And the loss on the play is 6, and the second down and 16 at the 22. Marino on a roll, looking for Jones, has him. Rooster is out of bounds at about the 16, so they're back to just about the original line of scrimmage. Giuseppe Harris, Franco's brother, was the man who bumped him out.
Al, what Pittsburgh is faced with, long yardage, double coverage. It depends upon the linebackers of Penn State to cover the tight ends. They've got to go inside to the tight end or the backs to make the first down. The linebackers have that responsibility.
Third Marino coming back the other way, incomplete. Intended for Rooster Jones. Ron Walchuk.
From the end zone, you'll see that Marino throws the ball before he's ready because Pete Kugler, the tackle, put the pressure on, and the ball was nearly intercepted.
Mark Schubert is in to attempt the field goal, kicking into the wind and at an angle. They'll spot it down at the 21. So it's a 31-yard kick. And it's no good. Schubert's kick is wide. And so pitch
There's
drive.
a penalty down.
Marker down at the 12-yard line, hold everything. And Pitt responding. The penalty will be against Penn State.
Now the decision rests with Jackie Sherrill if it's a 5-yard penalty. Which it is. Now does he go for it or go for the field goal again?
It's 4th down and 5, and they're going to give Schubert another chance. He's still at the angle.
And the wind now, the wind coming from right to left is the big problem.
Kicking into the wind, 26-yard attempt this time. And this time it is good. So Pitt gets a second life on the penalty. And Schubert, after missing one from the 21, hits from the 16.
You know what a coach wants to do? Shoot himself. He can't blame the players, but we work on this by saying, don't be offside. No mistakes in the kicking game. Don't line up offside. Please don't line offside. And that's what they did.
Penn State leading Pitt 7-3. Coming up Monday night on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Oakland Raiders, up-and-down team all season long. Big win over Denver last week against New Orleans. Tied right now with the Rams for first place in the NFC West. So the Raiders and the Saints, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Joe Paterno, a man in his 14th season against Pittsburgh. Paterno is 12-1 since taking over for Rip Engel here.
Why do coaches walk? They use up their energy, and most coaches feel they can think better when they're walking. I happen to be one of those.
Could you chew gum at the same time, though?
No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. No, I could not. I confess.
Joel Coles and Kurt Warner to receive the kick from Dave Trout. Coles dropping it and then picking it up to the 10, to the outside, to the 20. A flag is thrown, and he's tackled at the 27. We might have a clip.
Another mistake in the kicking game, and Joe Paterno was telling me yesterday that they've worked hard on all phases of their kicking game in these 2 weeks because they felt it could be the difference. 2 mistakes, one offside, setting up another chance at a field goal, which was successful. A penalty on the kickoff return instead of good field position back near their own goal line. Can't make those mistakes in a game like this and hope to win.
Penn State going with the wind in the first quarter, which has only 2:52 remaining. Penn State leading 7-3.
Let's see if we can identify the clip. Remember, on kicking games in college, number 12, right blocking the white shirt, number 16, right in the back.
John Lebo, number 12, the man guilty of flipping. The penalty, moving it back to the 9. First down, Penn State. Shuey fights out to the 15-yard line. Matt gets 6, and it'll be 2nd down and 4.
Penn State desperately wants to make a first down, move the ball out a little bit so that they can use all of their offense. So this end of the field, mostly running unless you use a surprise play such as a short pass.
2nd down, 4 from the 15-yard line. Warner, not much doing.
Al, on this end of the field, defensive strategy is to go into your goal line defense. The same thing you would use if the other team had the ball on your 5-yard line. And on that particular play, Pittsburgh had 9 men on the line of scrimmage.
Penn State now has a 3rd down and 3. You can see Green, 99, moving over to the left side, the wide side, and Pittsburgh's defensive alignment on 3rd and 3. Donovan was in motion, and Tate's going to put it up with the win, but Pittsburgh has other ideas. Hugh Green, number 99, came charging in.
When you said charging, he was charging. Let's watch Green, number 99, a defensive end. As soon as he recognizes the pass, the great ones close the gap. And on that particular play, that's as fast as I've ever seen a defensive end move 10 yards and tackle the quarterback.
Jack Amaro kicking with the win. Taken at the 45 by JoJo Heath to the 40, and that's all. And then loses the ball, but I think they blew it dead. I believe the ball was blown dead. It was.
When the forward progress stops, the rule clearly says that when your forward progress stops, the referee is to blow the whistle. Let's take a quick look at it. Heath, number 36, runs into a host of blue shirts. He is being pushed back, and the ball is dead. That's a good call by the officials, a correct call.
So Pitt from the 40 of Penn State, 52 seconds remaining in the quarter. Pryor is in the slot to the left side, out of the eye. The eye back is Jones. Pryor goes in motion, and Marino, after the long count, gives it to Rooster Jones, who slips a couple of tackles and gets to the 33-yard line. Ron Walczak, number 40, made the stop. Hugh Green, Jr., out of Natchez, Mississippi. All-America choice last year as a sophomore. Same thing's going to happen this year. Same thing's going to happen barring injury next year.
Now, let me just mention that when you tackle a quarterback for a loss, it really fires up your football. That's what happened. Pittsburgh has the momentum.
2nd down and 4 from the 34. This should be the final play of the period. The pitch goes to Jones. Rooster has the 1st down and gets to the 25-yard line. So the first quarter will expire. The clock momentarily stopped for the 1st down, but they'll restart it again probably before Pittsburgh can get a playoff. And that'll mean when the 2nd quarter commences, the Panthers will be going with the win. So the clock's ticking down. The first quarter is over, and at the end of 1 at State College, it's Penn State 7, Pittsburgh 3. Michaels and Frank Broyles with you. It's 1st and 10. Pittsburgh at the Penn State 25-yard line. Penn State leading 7-3. Both teams bowl bound. Rooster Jones fell down, got up, and picks up 4 yards. There's the natural turf here. The difference between that and what Pitt is used to playing on. Slipping down. We talked about how the roots do not necessarily take effect here.
Jackie was complaining yesterday that when you make a sharp turn, you lose your footing. It's a little bit loose. Evident on that play by Rooster Jones.
2nd and 6 from the 21. Pitt showing a lot of new offensive looks as they shift out. And from the eye, it's Jones to the short side of the field, and he should have the 1st down. He's out of bounds, I believe, inside the 15. Steve Griffiths made the stop, and it is a 1st down for the Panthers, going with the win.
What's happened, Al, Pittsburgh has gone into a wing-back formation, and they have the defense outflanked. They turned and pitched twice in this series for big gains. Penn State's got to make a different adjustment.
They split still to the right. Put Moore on a wing to the left. And on 1st down, it's Jones again, who has room this time to get inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Here are the numbers through 1.
Look at Pittsburgh has a definite advantage, and we must realize that Penn State has made only 1 1st down, the long run by Suey. Other than that, all offense goes to Pittsburgh for their fine effort in the first quarter.
The Penn State score, a 65-yard run by Suey. 2nd and 6 from the 9. Jones goes in motion. They give it to McMillan with a big hole, and McMillan is in for the touchdown.
A 9-yard Pittsburgh touchdown.
So McMillan, who's seen a lot of daylight through the middle thus far today, sees enough to go in for the score, and Pitt takes its initial lead.
Al, the call was right behind the right guard Boers, the right tackle May. They just happened to average 270 pounds. That's good, smart play. Run behind those two in that situation.
May, number 73, will be a leading candidate for the Outland Award next year. Mark Schubert to try on the point after. And the kick is good. 13:32 remaining in the first half. In St. Thomas, Pennsylvania. Pitt on top, 10-7. Joel Coles is number 20. Kurt Warner is number 25. To receive the kick for Penn State. Bright sunshine now. Still temperature in the mid-20s. Pitt moving in. 40 yards, 6 plays to take the lead. 10-7 Pittsburgh as Dave Trout puts it in the air with the wind. A low kick, bouncing and picked up in the 5 by Warner. To the 15, to the 20, to the 30. Kurt Warner to the 40, cutting back. And they go all the way. The freshman from Wyoming, Pennsylvania has run it back 95 for a touchdown.
Return the kick, 95 yards, Penn State touchdown.
From the end zone, Warner, number 25, rushed for 241 yards in the first game of the season against Rutgers, pulled a hamstring, has not had confidence in his leg until this week. You saw him there make 2 of the finest cuts you will ever see. Just a sensational run by Kurt Warner, a freshman.
95 yards. Penn State has the lead again. Herb Minhart with Tom Donovan holding. The extra point is good. So Penn State and Pitt, a marvelous rivalry. A game that is on national television for a 6th consecutive year. The last 2 in particular have been beauties. And this one, the same start.
Let's watch another quick look from the side. Number 25, a freshman. We're going to see 2 cuts back against the grain right there that sprung him into the second, into the open. There, Kurt Warner, a freshman, 95 yards.
So Penn State on top now, 14-10.
2 big plays, Al. Matsui, touchdown, 64 yards, right up the middle. And then that outstanding run by Kurt Warner.
Penn State with Brian Franco to kick off. Back deep, Terry White, number 23, and JoJo Heath, 36. Kurt Warner, the freshman. The kick taken at the 3 by White. Has a wedge through the middle, but he's tackled out at the 33-yard line. Catching up with him was Greg Garrity. A reminder, the Iran crisis, America held hostage, day 28. Full coverage on the ABC Weekend News tonight and tomorrow. From the 33-yard line, first down. protection. Going deep for Kenny Bowles and nearly intercepted. Giuseppe Harris, one of Franco's brothers, almost picked it off. Marino is 5 out of 11 after 89
Number 84, Benji Price trying to get down the middle. 30, Matt Bradley is trying to delay him, but the throw was very poor. Should have been intercepted.
Second down and 10 from the 34-yard line. Quick out, it's McMillan trying to move to the outside. Looking at a fend off would-be tacklers and out of bounds at the 45-yard line, using his arm to full advantage that time.
How many times do you see a stiff arm today, Al? Not many, but there was a perfect execution. Number 40, McMillan, the draw play again. Number 94, the linebacker, was rushing, and McMillan broke to the outside. Walczak, number 40, misses him, and watch this tank turn down the field. Wow.
Hit at the Penn State 46, so first down. Penn State leading 14-10, 13 minutes to go in the first half. Marino, a little shovel toss to DeBartola, and that picks up the first down to the 33. Matt Bradley made the stop. You know, when you took a look at this game, it figured to be a defensive battle. It's anything but. Now we've got trick plays.
Lee Groscup would love this. The Utah special, we used to call it. It's a forward lateral, trapping the end out. DeBartola catches it and makes a nice game for the first down, and Pittsburgh is threatening again.
The Panthers at the 33-yard line. Bowles in motion. To Still at the 25. He's going to move to the outside and get to the 21-yard line. Matt Bradley and Giuseppe Harris making the stop.
88, Ralph Still, outstanding receiver, single coverage. It's going to be an easy completion because Harris gives too much of a cushion this close to the goal line, and there was another stiff arm by the wide receiver, Ralph Still.
At the 21, first and 10 Panthers. Bowles setting up in the slot, and he goes in motion. The draw to McMillan, nothing doing. That's Kubin, number 74, wrapping him up. Steve Griffiths also helping out the linebacker, 52.
The effect of the draw, Al, and the screen, the success that Pittsburgh has had, has compromised the defensive line rush. I would think that Marino can hold the ball back longer than he could have otherwise.
Danny's had a lot of time. Second down and 9 from the 20-yard line. Marino time again to Still inside the 10 and tackled at the 8-yard line. A first down. Grover Edwards made the tackle.
Watch Marino throw the ball between the linebackers. Early in the game, he tried to throw the ball through the linebacker. The timing was perfect, splitting the two linebackers for the first down, and an excellent catch by Ralph Still. He and Benji Pryor have averaged 10 receptions a game since Marino has been the starter.
Danny is now 8 out of 14 for 126 yards. Pitt takes a timeout. 11:03 to go in the first half. Penn State leading 14-10. Pittsburgh after a timeout. First and goal. The ball at the 7-yard line. Penn State leading 14-10. And it's Jones getting about a yard, maybe 2.
Penn State's defense stacked that play up. They went into their gap, penetrated. Nothing there. In fact, Jones was very lucky to get 1 yard.
Second and goal, the ball at the 6. 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, first half. Pittsburgh moving with the win. Penn State leading by 4. McMillan, back of Jones, nice in, touchdown. McMillan, the leading ball carrier
That's the power. He is just going to blast through. He's not going down. What an effort by Randy McMillan, the junior college transfer, making a difference in this football game so far.
McMillan has already picked up 92 yards and scored twice. Mark Schubert to try the extra point, and the kick is perfect.
The kick is good. The score.
So two good defensive teams, and in less than 20 minutes, we've had 31 points.
Take a look from the high end zone. Watch 40. He is not going down. He lowers his shoulder. He becomes his own blocker. He twists, dives, and squirms for the touchdown. What an effort by Randy McMillan. And when Jackie Sherrill told me yesterday, Al, he said, he is well. That was an understatement of the game so far.
You bet. He's closing in on 100 yards. We still have 10:19 to go in the half. Pittsburgh has the lead again. It's 17-14. Kurt Warner, who ran the last kickoff back 95 yards, is back deep as you look at McMillan.
I can tell you the offensive coaches again, hey fellas, the game's not over. This is just the first half, really just the first 20 minutes of the game. And what a 20 minutes it has been.
We've got 40 minutes and 41 seconds to go. What a beginning, though.
Hey, I went to Georgia Tech, 39 minutes and 41 seconds. No, you're right, I'm wrong. What am I made the mistake. I was kidding you. I think I pride myself on my math.
Send back your degree. That's
send it back.
Dave Trout to kick off for the Panthers, and because of the wind, JoJo Heath is going to hold it for him. This one is fielded at the 18-yard line by one of the up men, who takes it back to the 32. That's John Lebo, who was guilty of a clip earlier, bringing it back out to the 32-yard line. Some other scores: the Division III championship, Ithaca and Wittenberg are tied 7-7 in the second period. In the Division II semifinal, Delaware on top 21-0 in the second. Division II semi, Youngstown State 21, Alabama A&M nothing in the first. First down from the 32-yard line is Seward. Maybe a half a yard. Jerry Boyarsky made the stop. Of course, there's a big game in Birmingham today, Alabama against Auburn. That game will not start for about 45 minutes, and of course we will keep you up to date on that one through the balance of this one, plus the Army-Navy game, which follows on ABC at 4 o'clock. It's very simple. If Alabama wins or ties, they go to the Sugar Bowl. If Alabama loses to Auburn, Alabama would then go to the Fiesta Bowl in Tempe Christmas Day, and they would play Pittsburgh. Otherwise, it'll be Arizona against Pitt in Tempe.
Now, I think we should mention here that Penn State has not made one first down in the first 20 minutes of the game, and that was a long touchdown run, 64 yards by Matt Seward. But they have 14 points on the scoreboard, and that's what counts.
17-14 Pittsburgh. Their other touchdown came on Warner's 95-yard run back. They send Warner in motion. Tate goes to Warner on the right side. The 35, the 40, and out of bounds there. Jackie Sherrill took the spill. Jackie in the yellow coat got involved in that play, the Pitt head coach.
You have to be alert on that style of play.
Marker is down, however. The penalty flag, and it's going to be marched off against Penn State.
Now, let me go back and mention it again, that Penn State, with 2 penalties in the kicking game, gave Pittsburgh 2 scoring opportunities, a second kick and a field goal, which was good. A clip on the kickoff, put them back in the hole, good field position, resolved the touchdown. Now they're back up close to their own goal line and going into the wind, trailing by 3 points, and lost all of the momentum.
And the penalty for the clip back to the 15-yard line, making it second down and 27. Warner, and wrestled down. It was all Kurt could do to make the catch and hold on to the ball.
It's a risky play to run close to your own goal line, but it's something that you have to gamble with. You've got to go wide, and the thing that happens on long yardage, Al, as we know and said, the defense has a decided advantage because they expected that style of play. They move that defense out for the wide and long gain plays.
Look at that graphic. Marino versus Tate. 3rd down and 29 from the 13-yard line. Warner going to go back the other way. And just about to the line of scrimmage, that's all. So now they're pinned deep and they'll have to kick into the wind.
Al, I was going to say, Bill Neal, the defensive tackle, made a sensational play. He was the only man who would stop Warner from making a long run, and he bought some time, slow played the blocker, and made the tackle himself. And he's shaken up just a little bit.
So that's Neal, who has... That's not a very happy sight for the Panthers. Bill Neal, number 76, the excellent defensive tackle, the man who made the last play, a great one, has paid the price for it as he comes limping off. Penn State to punt with Ralph Giaccamaro kicking into the wind. JoJo Heath standing back at the 50-yard line to receive for the Panthers. Low snap, and it's partially blocked. Bouncing at the 21-yard line, and then fielded at the 25, and down there, Ricky Jackson, number 87, was the man who came in to block the kick by Giaccamaro.
Can you believe another mistake by Penn State in the kicking game? Most unusual, but watch Jackson, who comes from the right side, gets a hand on the ball. Now remember, I think we should mention again that number 87, Ricky Jackson. Let's watch him again quickly before the next play. Goes inside the defensive end.
Big break for Pittsburgh as the Panthers have it at the 25 of Penn State. Rooster Jones back of the wall, gets about 4. Ron Wolchak, number 40, busted up the blocking to make the tackle as they work on the knee of Bill Neal.
Now, one thing I think we should mention that Pittsburgh has scored on the last 3 possessions. Let's go quickly back and watch the punt. Jackson makes a great effort going in front of the kicker. Watch him leave his feet and throw his hands up, and he blocks it.
2nd down and 6 now at the 21-yard line. Panthers leading 17-14, 7.5 to go in the quarter. Jones pulling straight ahead. Getting it to the 16, it'll be 3rd down and 1. Leo Wisniewski, 61, and Greg Jones, 99, making the stop.
One thing, both coaches said they needed to get some mixture to have success. Pittsburgh has had mixture, running and passing, and they're moving the ball. Penn State has had no success because they've had very little opportunity to throw the ball and no success.
Penn State's had 2 big plays, and that's been it. The run back by Warner, the long run by Shuey. 3rd and 1. Jones diving for apparently the 1st down. The stick is right at the 15-yard line, as you can see. Rooster trying to dive across the yard marker.
Oh, where are they putting this? They fumbled the ball. One official had marked it dead, and the referee overruled it.
Exactly. Otherwise, it looked like Jones had it.
He fumbled the ball. It came back. Pittsburgh recovered it for a loss. The referee overruled the headline.
Exactly. Mark May was the man who recovered what they called the fumble belatedly. Art Schubert with Scott Jenner holding. Schubert has already kicked a 26-yarder. This one from the 22-yard line, a 32-yard attempt. Good. So 3 more on the board for the Panthers. 6:07 to go, 1st half at Penn State, where Pitt leads the Lions 20-14. Joe Paterno's team to receive. Dave Trout kicking off. Again, a low line drive kick that's fielded by Lebo. From the 18, he brings it back to the 30-yard line. The 1st down for Penn State there. Here's the fumble now by
Quickly, let's see if we can detect and spot the fumble by Rooster Jones, number 2. He has the ball. puts both hands over it. He dives over. And then 73, Mark May comes back and sees the ball laying on the ground and picks it up. Field goal instead of a touchdown opportunity.
First down, Penn State at the 30-yard line. Tate, a lot of time, going deep over the middle and batted away. Batted away by Lynn Thomas, number 3. The pass intended for Brad Scoville. 5:56 to play in the first half. And coming up at halftime, our Fireman's Fund flashback, that bizarre play in the Oklahoma-Nebraska game. We'll take a look at that again, plus highlights of last night's fight from Vegas, Sugar Ray Leonard over Wilfred Benitez. We'll also see both bands, and of course we'll be keeping you up to date throughout the day on other scores. Second down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Suey out to the 33-yard line. Hugh Green in on the stop. Pittsburgh on top, 20-14. The Panthers coming in more confident than they've been since their national championship season, 1976. Penn State won in a snowstorm 2 years ago, 15-13. And then last year, Penn State with 10 points in the final 5 minutes to win a thriller, 17-10. 3rd and 6 from the 34. Tate has a man open, but out of bounds at the 40-yard line is Booker Moore, number 48. So they'll have to kick it away.
And into the win, Al, and another chance maybe for Pittsburgh to have a scoring opportunity. Boy, with the win, Marino can throw deep. Most of his passes so far have been short, and the running of Randy McMillan has been sensational.
Steve Giacomo standing at the 21-yard line. JoJo Heath back deep for Pitt. The kick hanging in the wind from the 34. It's Terry White, and tripped up at the 35, and a flag is thrown after the tackle. So White on the run back went about 40 yards laterally and about a yard forward.
Sometimes you can get ground, Al, and get around the rush, pick up some blockers. But Penn State was alert and was there for the play, but a piling on penalty is a costly penalty at this time of the game.
And so yet another kicking game mistake killing Penn State.
That's 4 in this ball game by Penn State. 4 kicking game mistakes.
Coming up in just about 2 hours from Philadelphia, Army-Navy. This rivalry, Penn State-Pitt, has been a close one over the years. How about Army and Navy? Army's won 37, Navy 36, and there have been 6 times. You'll see it from Philadelphia at 4 Eastern time. First down, the ball just inside Penn State territory. Here's McMillan, and this time there's no room at all. Leo Wisniewski, number 61, is from Houston, Texas. 6'1", 247-pound sophomore made the tackle.
Again, Pittsburgh is following the strategy of running on first down up the middle, trying to pop McMillan into the secondary, which they had so much success with earlier.
2nd and 10. The ball at the 50. Pitt leading by 6. 4.5 minutes to go in the half. Marino, complete to Still. Slips a tackle at the 40. Still on his feet at the 30. Driven down to the 25-yard line. There's been some sloppy tackling in that secondary.
From the end zone, let's watch the pass blocking, picking up the linebackers blitzing, and you can see the quick, easy throw because the receiver was wide open. Ralph Still. Watch him stiff arm, and the action just begins after he caught the pass, Al. Watch it again from isolation position. Inside, outside route, wide open. Missed tackle. Good block by Benji Pryor. First down.
At the 26. 1st and 10 Pitt. Moore in motion. McMillan on the draw. Hit hard at the 24-yard line. Ron Walchak and Steve Griffiths double teaming him.
It's very evident that the Penn State defensive linemen are reading on the line of scrimmage for the running plays instead of the way they began rushing the passer on every down.
3:52, 3:51 and counting down on 2nd and 8 from the 24. Marino throwing into a lot of traffic, intended for Still, well covered on the play. Jackie Sherrill, for many years an assistant coach under Johnny Majors, played his college football at Alabama under Bear Bryant, spent one season at Washington State 1976. He was Jack Thompson's coach up in Pullman, and then when Majors went to Tennessee, it was Sherrill who got the job in Pittsburgh. Done a fine job.
He certainly has. He came in right after a national championship season and has taken them to 3 straight bowls.
And this is a young team. They start only 6 seniors. 3rd and 8. McMillan couldn't hold it. So it'll be 4th down, and that'll mean about a 41-yard attempt coming up for Schubert.
Now we've talked about the grass, but McMillan slipped as he received the pass and could not control it.
4th down and 8. Scott Jenner to hold. Pittsburgh has scored on its last 4 possessions. Now trying to make it the last 5. Schubert at an angle, 41-yard kick. It has the distance and the accuracy. So Penn has scored the last 5 times they've had the ball. And that's something that's been done maybe a handful of times in Joe Paterno's career.
I would guess never. And Joe Paterno was telling me yesterday that his defense has found that they could play outstanding football even though they've missed their All-American tackles. They have done it on hustle, but the difference in the game has been the mixture of passing and running by Pittsburgh, the fact that Penn State has had no mixture, strictly a little running and no passing, and that's been the difference.
2 big plays, 2 explosive plays, is the only reason that Penn State is even in the game right now.
I believe I'm correct in saying they've made 1 first down. That was on the long run, 64 yards, beautifully done by Matt Suey. Gave them the only first down that they've made in the first half.
And the other touchdown was the 95-yard run back by Warner. So it's 23-14. There's Warner, number 25. Joel Coles is number 20. Dave Trout to kick off with 3.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Warner, 10. Oh! They take a shot. Loose ball at the 20-yard line. But Penn State has it. Number 26, Timothy Lewis of the special teams unit.
Well, let's watch from the left of your screen. You're going to see what we call a clothesline tackle right there by Lewis, the defensive back, and the officials can't, Al, call that as an illegal tackle. You cannot use your arm as a separate weapon to make the tackle. And I think the fans are booing for that reason right now.
You bet. There he is. Well, he got away with one is what it amounted to. Tim Lewis, number 26. First down, Penn State, into the wind from the 19-yard line. Booker Moore slips to the outside, and Moore is run out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Hugh Green is over there. We've got Green isolated. Look at how much room he covers.
Green, of course, is playing linebacker. He's trying to diagnose the play and couldn't make the play at first, but he doesn't give up. As a great football player that he is, he just chases Moore out of bounds.
Moore got 11. Clock stopped with 3:19 to play in the half. First down, Penn State at the 30. They call Moore's number again, and Hugh Green is right there again at the 34-yard line along with Steve Fidel. Fidel, the first man heading.
The Pittsburgh defense, I think, has been outstanding. When you take the size and the ability of the Penn State offensive line, the good running backs, Sue and Duman, Moore and Lorna, it's been remarkable the way they played football.
Penn has only given up coming into the game 92 points in 10 games. They've yielded 14 today, but not the defense necessarily. On second down, it's Tate going down at the 26-yard line. Lynn Thomas came through from the secondary.
I think that the corner blitz is one of the toughest things to pick up in pass protection. Lynn Moore was the right cornerback, and watch him come from your screen, the corner of your screen, right from the right. The cornerback is that deep into the backfield.
Third down and 13 at the 27-yard line. Tate scrambling now to the 30 and dropped hard at the 32-yard line. So it'll be 4th and 8. And who's there again but Hugh Green?
The All-American. Let's watch an isolation on Hugh Green from Mississippi, number 99. And the thing that he can do is close the gap. That's the term that we use. Once he sees, he was playing for a screen, but once he sees Tate run with the ball, watch him, catch him, and throw him to the ground.
Meanwhile, Pitt has taken a timeout. Smart call here because they know Penn State has to punt. They can save some time. We have 1:50 to go in the first half. That's the second timeout taken by Jackie Sherrill's team in this half, so they have one remaining, and they'll be going with the win when they have the ball.
I think we should mention that last week against Temple, Frank Rocco came in for Penn State and put on a fine exhibition, but he ended up with migraine headaches and was doubtful as a player today, and Tate has a sore thumb.
Giacomaro's kick. It's Heath from the 32. Running it back out to the 43-yard line. So the Panthers with the win from the 43 with 1:38 to go in the half. Pittsburgh leading Penn State 23-14 coming up at halftime. We'll see our Fireman's Fund flashback, the crazy play that developed last week, resulting in a Nebraska touchdown. Also highlights of last night's Sugar Ray Leonard fight. A look at both bands, and also a special report from ABC News coming up at halftime. Coach, 1:38 remaining in the half on first down from the 42-yard line. It's Danny Marino throwing incomplete. Intended for Benji Pryor. Number 84, the tight end, Matt Bradley covering.
He had to throw the ball before he was ready. That was the first time that Penn State has used an all-out rush, man for man, in the secondary. And they did force Marino to throw before he was ready.
Marino is 9 out of 18 for 150 yards. Pittsburgh leading 23-14, 1:34 to go in the half. On 2nd and 10, he dumps it off to Jones, incomplete. They're better off having that pass incomplete. He was covered.
Again, the big rush. Heavy pressure right before the half, and now I wonder if Paterno, when he goes in at halftime, will discuss we're having some success rushing Marino with the all-out blitz. 3rd and long. Let's see if he comes again with the heavy rush.
Still is sent wide to the left, and Moore wide to the right. This time they pick up the blitz, and it's incomplete. They sent one linebacker through, and that's all. But good coverage in the secondary. Matt Bradley covering Boston College, a 3-point lead over Holy Cross in the second quarter.
Boston College has been a surprise team.
Yeah.
Only won one, I think, last year.
1:25 remaining with Dave Trout to State has stopped Pitt on its last 6 possessions. Stopped them from scoring. Goulman calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 28-yard line, and Pitt is contending that he took a couple of extra steps. The officials say no. Penn State will start from the 28-yard line with 1:18 to play in the period. A 30-yard punt.
What would you do with Joe Paterno? The fans are cheering. Let's go for it. Will he open up? And he's had very little success, I think, with 2 completions in the first half.
Well, what do you think?
I think he'll open up. He's a gambler. I think he'll open up and try to score.
The Lions have all 3 timeouts remaining. They have Terry Rakowski in as a wide receiver. Tate, he's going to give it to Suey on the draw. Out to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 7. Jeff Pelusi, 51, made the stop.
When you throw at this time of the game, you're very cautious and tell your quarterback, just do anything you want to do except throw for an interception.
Penn State spending a timeout here. They're first. They have 2 left in the half. 1:07 to go in the half. A reminder, Wide World of Sports returning next Saturday in a good lineup. World Cup boxing. Amateur action. Russia against the U.S. and the World Gymnastics Championships, the first time they've ever been held in the United States, from Fort Worth, Texas. Among those expected to compete, Nadia Comaneci, Kurt Thomas, Bart Connor, Kathy Johnson. The Americans with a strong team. You'll see it next Saturday, 5 Eastern and Pacific, 4 Central, as Wide World returns. Everybody bundled up. It was 70 degrees a week ago today. Could have come to the game in Bermuda. Today, it's all thermals. But the sun's shining, so the predicted and expected snow flurries did not materialize. Playing field in good shape. They cover it with a tarp in inclement weather here. And a good show thus far. 2nd down, 3 from the 35-yard line with Warner in motion. Tate has a man open at the 45. It's Donovan, and he has the first down. Tom Donovan, number 19, a senior from East Northport, New York. Penn State coming up without a huddle. The ball at the 44-yard line. 59 seconds to play in the half. And on first down, it's Tate throwing. Is it complete? At the 48-yard line it is. To number 90, Ron LaPointe.
I think that we should mention that Pittsburgh are playing very deep with their secondary, trying to prevent the bomb, giving up the short pass, and that's the strategy that you would want to use with this particular game, in this game situation.
And they know that Penn State has to drive a little bit deeper, because even if they set up for a field goal, they're going into the wind. So Minhart could use an extra few yards. 2nd down and 5. Tate lofting one deep and incomplete. Brad Scoville, the intended receiver. Tate is now 3 out of 7 for 23 yards. So as Frank just pointed out, they're giving him some ground up close, but not deep. It was well covered.
What we call a prevent defense, and I think that many teams have been hurt using a prevent defense, but basically I think most coaches feel that's the best defense to use when you're trying to prevent them to score right before the half or end of the game.
Penn State 3rd and 5. Pitt leading 23 to 14. Tate throwing it into the ground. So the Pitt defense again equal to the task. And the Panthers will get the ball back.
And I would think Pittsburgh would put a big rush on, try to block a kick. They've already partially blocked one.
Ralph Giacomaro to kick. JoJo Heath is back for Pitt, standing at the 25-yard line. High kick, hanging in the wind. And they let it bounce and down it at the 14-yard line. The Panthers on a first down with 34 seconds remaining in the first half. 38-yard punt by Ralph Giacomaro.
What the coaches are determining now, 2 timeouts for Penn State. Can we run 3 plays and not have to kick the ball? It's going to be questionable if Penn State uses both of their timeouts, and I'm sure that they will.
First down, Pitt from the 14-yard line. Pitt has 1 timeout remaining, but they should be content to run out the clock. It's McMillan through the middle, and he gets out to near the 19-yard line. And as yet, no indication that Penn State will take their timeout. Looking over toward the bench, and Paterno apparently is going to let the clock run down.
That surprises me because I believe he could have forced the punt by using both of his timeouts.
Instead, it ticks down. Schubert adding the extra point to give Pitt its first lead, 10-7. Then Kurt Warner ran the ensuing kick back for a touchdown to give Penn State the lead again. However, after that, it was McMillan scoring for the second time, and then Schubert adding a pair of field goals, one from the 33-yard line, and then one from the 41-yard line with only 3:30 remaining in the first half, and it's Pittsburgh on top 23-14. Our Fireman's Fund flashback today will feature the bizarre play last week in Norman, Oklahoma that resulted in a Nebraska touchdown, and also highlights of last night's victory by Sugar Ray Leonard over Wilfred Benitez to win the World Welterweight Championship in Las Vegas. Today's Fireman's Fund flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania. Our halftime score, Pittsburgh 23 and Penn State 14. And right now, the Pitt Band. Donald E. Hauer, the director. Let's listen. Pittsburgh 23 and Penn State 14. And right now, the Pitt Band. Donald E. Hauer, the director. Let's listen. Pitt 23, Penn State 14 will return to State College after a visit to the Pitt campus and a word from the NCAA. An exciting first half. Our halftime score, the Pitt Panthers 23, the Penn State Nittany Lions 14. Right now, let's go to New York and to Barry Serafin for this ABC. It's halftime at Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania. The Pittsburgh Panthers on top 23-14 as they seek their 9th consecutive win. The crowd entertained right now by the Penn State Blue Band. Ned Deal, the director. Pittsburgh-Penn State game is being brought to you by Chevrolet and your participating Chevy dealers who took a special test drive during Chevy's National Economy Drive. By Texaco, with over 66,000 employees doing their best at their jobs to keep your trust. And by Pizza Hut, where every pizza is made by hand from our own fresh dough, just for you. When you're coming into Pizza Hut, you're coming in for good. And Texas A&M, as you can see later today, we have facility there to bring you up to date on some highlights, which you will see during the coverage of the Army-Navy game beginning at 4 o'clock. And before that, during our second half from State College today. State Blue Band performing at Beaver Stadium. And right now, let's explore more of this campus in the beautiful setting of the Nittany Valley. Penn State.
Is Penn State University, proud of its tradition of serving people through education and research. Like inventing the first long-life pacemaker, giving heart patients a better life. And being a leader in developing new ways to mine and use coal, giving energy to a world in need. Penn State, one of America's great public universities.
Halftime at State College, Pennsylvania. Temperature in the mid-20s. And Pittsburgh on top, leading Penn State 23-14. Second half to begin shortly. And we'll return to State College, PA, right after this message. Halftime, Pittsburgh on top. The Panthers on their way to the Fiesta Bowl. Penn State on its way to the Liberty Bowl. It's Pitt on top 23-14. The figures through the first half, Frank.
Well, it was all Pitt, both offensively and defensively. Take note of these figures. 14 first downs to 3. Passing yards 150 to 18. Total yardage 286 to 116. Time of possession 1859 to 1101. Penn State has got to develop some offense in this half if they want to get back into this football game.
Dan Marino, just a freshman, but remarkable poise, exceptional talent. Rick Tricano, we mentioned during our pregame show, was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. Went down with a hamstring injury in the Navy game. Tricano could play today, but it's been Marino all the way, and Danny's thrown for 150 yards.
And against a very tough defensive football team, as we mentioned earlier, in other games, but in this game, Marino has been able to hit the key passes. 2 out of 7 really big passes, 2 of them on 3rd and long.
Penn State has had 0 for 7 third down conversions. That's another key factor. Penn State's only two of their 3 first downs, Al, were right in the last minute of the first half.
Division II semifinal right there. Delaware on top 27-3. Division II semifinal, Youngstown State leading Alabama A&M at the half, 24-0. Here in the second half, Kurt Warner is number 25, who had the 95-yard run back in the first half. Joel Coles, number 20. As Penn State receives the kick from Dave Trout. Again, the wind is blowing basically out of the southwest, or as we look at the field, right to left. Blowing at about 10 to 12 knots, gusting sometimes up to 20. It's instrumental, and Penn State will be going into it in the third quarter and with it in the fourth. So here we go, Al Michaels and Frank Royals as we start the second half. It's Warner from the 3, the 10, the 20, the 25, and dropped at the 29-yard line. The Pitt defense, exceptional. Anchored by Hugh Green, number 99 up front, the All-America. Greg Meisner is the left tackle. Number 86, they have Jerry Boyarsky in the middle, number 68. This is a young unit. Bill Neal was hurt in the first half, and we'll check on his condition as to see whether or not he's starting. Ricky Jackson plays the other end, number 87. Dale Tate, the Penn State quarterback. From the 29-yard line, he's going to put it right up and finds Donovan. Makes the catch at the 32 and then pushed back from the 34. Jeff Pelusi plays the middle, number 51. His brother is also on the team. Steve Fidel on the outside, number 58. Terry White, who was our player of the game in the Syracuse telecast. Lynn Thomas, the right cornerback, number 3. His brother Pappy backs him up. Carlton Williamson is steady and solid at strong safety. And JoJo Heath has had a fine career at Pitt, number 36, the free safety. Second down, 5. Mike Gooman, the tailback, getting out to the 40-yard line, which should be a first down. Terry White and Jeff Pelusi made the tackle. Bill Neal is not in the lineup for Pittsburgh at the moment. Charles Jones is the defensive tackle. Penn State with Tate. They start Gooman with Suey as the running backs. Donovan, Scoville, and LaPointe, the wide receivers. And the men up front. Kurt Warner is now in at tailback on first down from the 40. Warner knifes out to the 44-yard line. Greg Meisner, number 86, making the stop. Warner in a tailback. He saw a lot of action in the first half. Gooman saw some action, and they also used Booker Moore sparingly. They've done a lot of maneuvering and shifting with their tailbacks this season. Second down and 7. Penn State at the 44-yard line. They trail by 9. Tate dropped at the 39-yard line, and it's ruled dead there. The official signaling that he was down at the 39.
From the end zone, you can see that Tate has all of his receivers covered. Watch him look up. He has nowhere to go with the football. He hesitates, and by then, Pittsburgh threw him to the ground, the fumble, but the referee is marking it down.
Jackie Sherrill. With that jacket, we can put him up in the booth, Frank. Good call. Third down and 12 from the 39-yard line. Tate nearly intercepted. Ricky Jackson had it go through his hands. There you go, Frank. You're right at home. The hog hat.
A hog hat. Way up here in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
The Hogs do get around.
Either that or it's a remote cut-in from Fayetteville. I can't figure it out. The hog hat.
They wouldn't accuse us of that.
Symbol of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Fourth down and 12. And Ralph Giacomo, the freshman punter. JoJo Heath is back deep to receive for the Panthers. Kicking into the wing. Heath next to Terry White. 25-30, and then spilled at the 32-yard line. So Penn State defensively now trying to stop Pitt. Kubin outstanding at left end.
Kugler at left tackle. Remember, this is a decimated unit that is missing Millen and Clark. Greg Jones plays the middle, 99. Wisniewski, number 61, is the right tackle. Ron Walczek, the right end from West Springfield, New Jersey. Pittsburgh at their own 33, 12:23 to go, third quarter, 23-14 Pitt. It's McMillan gaining 4. Lance Mell, the linebacker for Penn State, bothered by a back injury, but in there today, Steve Griffiths, the other linebacker, number 52, Matt Bradley plays what they call the hero role. Number 30, Urquhart is a good one. 36, Giuseppe Harris, younger brother of Franco. And Grover Edwards came back from an auto accident this summer. Number 45, second down and 6 from the 37. Moore in motion. Marino out to the 44-yard line to Mike Dombrowski, who backs up Benji Pryor at tight end. And he gets out to the 46.
What happened on that particular play, they blitzed the linebacker, and the tight end is wide open, no one covering the inside hook area.
That's how Pitt starts it. Marino, McMillan, and Jones, the running backs. Still Moore and Pryor. And up front, the big man is 73, the right tackle, May. A couple of yards through the middle. Randy McMillan to the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I think we should mention again that Pittsburgh scored 5 of the last 6 possessions. 5 times to put 23 points on the scoreboard, 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals.
Lance Mell is not in there now for Penn State, bothered by a back injury. It's Parlavecchio, number 94, in a linebacking spot. He's on the right side defensively on this play. 2nd down, 8. Moore in motion. Marino on a roll, and Danny's going to keep it. Got into Lion territory and out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Matt Bradley ran him out.
Now that was that same play. He was going to throw the ball, the shovel pass that I called Lee Groscup used that. You can see that the man coming, he's trying to catch the ball to 40 McMillan, but he's covered and he has to keep the ball. The shovel pass that Lee Groscup made so famous at Utah.
The cover, he loved the back of the playbook, didn't he?
Yes.
3rd down and 3 from the 47. Marino looking for Pryor and has him at the 35-yard line. Chet Parlavecchio made the tackle, and he doesn't like the call at all.
84, Benji Pryor. We're going to isolate on him. Watch how he gets in the open crack between the 2 linebackers, and Marino pinpoints it right there. As he turns inside, the ball is low, but through concentration, he controls it.
Pittsburgh on the move at the Lion 35-yard line. McMillan gets a yard to the 34. Leo Wisniewski made the tackle, 61.
The difference in the 2 passing attacks, one, Pittsburgh has a sophisticated passing attack, spreading the defense, forcing them to cover the width and the depth of the field on every down. Penn State's passing attack is a rollout, throwing on only parts of the field.
2nd down, 9. Jones in motion. And the end around with Pryor. That doesn't fool the Penn State defense. They defense that one as well as any play today. Very slow developing, too.
Excellent defense. 84 is going to run the end around, faking the pitch. Number 84 right of your screen, a reverse play, but Larry Cuban, number 74, slowed the play down until help could get there.
3rd down and 13. Pitt at the Penn State 38. Pitt leading 23-14. 9 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. On 3rd and long, the pass to Jones, and he holds it at the 37-yard line. So they're just about back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all, and they'll have to kick it away.
Excellent defense by Penn State. They went into a scheme where they had a free fifth back in the middle covering Benji Pryor.
Line of scrimmage 37. If they try a field goal, it would have to be a 54-yard attempt. So instead it's Marino to punt as he tries to pin Penn State. Marino punted once in the first half and got off a 10-yard kick. This time he's with the wind, but still he needs to angle it because he's standing at the 50. A high floating kick, and it takes a good pit bounce, and that will pin Penn State deep in its own territory at the 7. 8:11 to go. Third quarter, Pittsburgh 23, Penn State 14. Coming up, 4 o'clock following this one. Army-Navy as they get settled in Philadelphia. Big crowd as always. Great rivalry. Here, you're looking at freshman quarterback Jeff Hostetler to take over at the 7-yard line. And on the first play, it's Suey going through the middle as they try to give him some breathing room. Ricky Jackson made the stop. So Paterno had gone with Tate. Frank mentioned in the first half Frank Rocco had a great day against Temple, but bothered with migraine headaches this week. They examined him, thought that he might be able to play, but apparently that's not the case. So Paterno is now forced to go to his number 3 quarterback, Jeff Hostetler, whose brother Ron had a sensational day as a linebacker in this game 2 years ago. 6'2", 212-pounder. 2nd and 6. Hugh Green can't get him. And then Hostetler is wrapped up at the 13-yard line by Steve Bedell.
Let's watch the same play from the end zone. I think that Hostetler busted the play, but he shows a little quickness and eluding All-American Green, and then, of course, Fedler threw him out of bounds.
3rd down and 5. They're underway in Birmingham. No score. Alabama and Auburn. No score first quarter. Texas Tech to A&M. 3rd down, about 4.5. Hostetler throwing, and it's picked off by Thomas at the 34-yard line. He's tackled there. Lynn Thomas, number 3, with the interception.
His 2nd interception of the season. Let's watch number 91, McCloskey. Of course, Thomas pushes him out of bounds, and under the present rule, he can come back in and be an eligible receiver. And Thomas makes a sensational play by leaping high and pulling down the interception.
The Panthers are right back in business at the 34-yard line. Dan Marino, the freshman quarterback, giving it to Rooster Jones. And Jones gets by Cuban and then is run out at the 30-yard line by Walchak.
Showed a little quickness on that play. He looked like he was stopped in the backfield, and he just turned on a burst of speed and went right outside and made 5 yards.
Under 7 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. 23-14 Pitt. 2nd down, 5. Panthers at the Nittany Lion 29-yard line. Pryor in motion. And Rooster Jones again, knifing through for 4, maybe 5. They'll put it down at the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Red Jacobs is coming in to replace
Jones. Replacing Jones at the tailback spot. The fullback is McMillan on 3rd and 2. They let McMillan do it. And McMillan gets to the 25, maybe a couple of inches inside. They need to get to the 24 for the first down, so he'll be shy. So they're going to go for it, Al. 4th down and 1. This is really a big play for Penn State is what it amounts to. They've got a hold here.
Better hurry up. They're pushing the 25-second clock.
So
they're pushing it.
You bet. 4th down and 1. They get the play off, and it's Jones, and I don't know. Penn State thinks he didn't get it, and it doesn't look like he got it. They've held. Great effort. Pete Kugler, number 57, was in at the bottom of the pile for Penn State. So the Nittany Lions having to hold. They've done it. They take over at the 25 with 5:20 remaining in the third quarter.
This is a tough baptism for our young freshman quarterback against one of the best defensive teams in the country in Pittsburgh.
Jeff Hostetler. Nothing doing through the middle. Jerry Boyarsky to wrap up Suey. Here's that fourth down play again, the middle of the Penn State defense.
Let's watch, see if we can spot who makes the play. Griffiths, number 52, is penetrating. And I believe someone underneath made the play. Kugler, Pete Kugler, number 57, is responsible for stopping the fourth down surge.
2nd and 10. Penn State with a freshman quarterback and a freshman tailback. The fake pitch. And then after the 39-yard line, complete to Mike McCloskey, number 91. So on the last series, Hostetler went for McCloskey and had it picked off by Thomas. This time he finds it.
McCloskey is an outstanding athlete, 6'5", and he uses his height to a good advantage right here as Hostetler lays it right over his head, 360-degree turn, legal catch, 1 foot in bounds after he caught the ball.
Penn State first down at their own 38-yard line. They're going into the wind with 4:45 to go third quarter. Pitt leading 23-14. Hostetler incomplete. Pass is short, intended for Tom Donovan. .441 to play, third quarter. This program, an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. A 5-second pause now to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
YNTV Springfield.
Third period, Al Michaels and Frank Broyles with you from State College, Pennsylvania. Pitt leading 23-14. 4:41 to go in the quarter. It is 2nd and 10. Penn State at their own 38-yard line. Pitt jumped off, contact was made, and the flag is thrown.
The young quarterback staggered the snap count. Pittsburgh had a rush, and when you're going to rush your linebackers and they guess wrong, offside. That was what happened on that play.
5-yard penalty to the 43-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Upcoming, it'll be 3rd and 3. Pelusi in on the tackle, 51.
Anytime you stop an opponent on 4th and short yardage, take possession. It usually fires you up and is demoralizing to the other team, and you make some first downs, and that is what is evident right now.
3rd down, a short 3 from the 46. Throwing and complete for a first down at the 50-yard line to Kurt Warner, who was out there alone, right in front of Joe Paterno.
From the end zone, you'll see that Hostetler will roll to the left. It's a two-man pattern out of the double wing. Pittsburgh did not drop their end. Easy catch, easy, wide open. Good catch by Warner.
Hugh Green was the man bearing down on Hostetler that time. He is seemingly in every play. First down, Penn State, midfield. 3:55 to go, third quarter. Suey for a yard or so. Ricky Jackson, 87. Jackson is a great defensive end, but Ricky doesn't get a lot of publicity because most of the reams of copy are directed toward Hugh Green, the man who plays the opposite end of the line.
I believe that Ricky Jackson could be all conference in any league that I have seen. That was a sensational play in tackling Sawyer on the draw play.
Bad news for the opposition. Pitt returns 9 of its 11 defensive starters next year. Second down and 9. Hostetler, incomplete. Short, intended for Donovan.
I think we should mention that Pittsburgh's strategy against this freshman is rush. They are single covering the receivers, rushing 7 and 8 men, trying to force him into a bad play and a possible interception.
Third down and 9 from the 49-yard line. 3:06 to go in the quarter. Score has not changed since halftime. It's 23-14 Pitt. Hostetler, incomplete again. Intended for Donovan. Tough position to place a freshman quarterback. Receiver Donovan was wide open, Al, as we could see, but he could not get the ball to him for the completion and the first down. So the quarterback is now 2 out of 6 for 17 yards. Ralph Giacomaro, yet another Nittany Lion freshman to punt, with JoJo Heath standing back at the Pitt 10-yard line. They kick away from Heath, and it's taken by White, and he backpedals and is down back at the 9. So Pitt starting deep in its own end with 2:53 to go. Third quarter, it's Pittsburgh ahead by 9. Randy McMillan has carried for the Panthers out to the 14-yard line from the 9, so it'll be second down and 5 for Pittsburgh. Operating deep in its own end, wind at their backs, 2:35 to go third quarter, 23-14 Pitt, and Auburn is on top in the second quarter, leading Alabama 3-0 at Birmingham. Rooster Jones out to the 21 on the first down. Wisniewski made the tackle.
That was a key run by Rooster Jones. Pittsburgh very desperately needed a first down to get the ball out of that danger zone, and they made it, and now they're out where they can operate a little bit more with their complete offense, passing or running.
Rooster Jones from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Hugh Green is from Mississippi. First down, 10 from the 22-yard line. And it's Jones again. Gains 4. What are a couple of Mississippians doing in Pittsburgh, Frank?
Well, the story I heard is that the coaches went down to recruit Rooster Jones, saw a film on Hugh Green, and how lucky can a coach be, and they started recruiting both of them and got them, of course, here in Pittsburgh. A good trip, I would say.
Of course, Jackie Sherrill played at Alabama from the South. He speaks their language.
But he has done an outstanding job of recruiting.
You bet. Second down and 6. At the 26. Benji Pryor in motion. To the 31-yard line. Griffiths made the tackle. Spotted at the 30, short of the first down by 2.
Another good surge by the right side of the offensive line of Pittsburgh. May and Boers opened up a nice running area for Rooster Jones on that second down.
Third and 2 with 48 seconds to play in the third quarter. Pitt ahead by 9. They give it to Jones again. He's got the first down and a few more. Out to the 38-yard line, Matt Bradley making the tackle.
Everything seems to be going for Pittsburgh because, as we've said earlier, they've got some mixture. Now, if you can mix up the run and the pass, you keep the defense off balance where they can't concentrate on just one, and then either or offense is the toughest to defend.
Let's go!
Clock running with 18 seconds to play in the period. From the 38-yard line. First and 10. Marino slipping down at the 35 for a loss of 3. So that'll do it for period number 3. Stefano at 4 o'clock. Starting the fourth quarter, second down, 13. Pitt at their own 35. They lead 23 to 14. Dan Marino, the freshman quarterback, all the way. On second and 13. Out of the pocket he comes, and down he goes at the 30-yard line. Greg Jones, number 99, tripped him up.
Let's see if the official called it right. It looked like it could have been a fumble. 99, the nose guard, just shucks the center, finally forces Marino out of the pocket. He's holding it with one hand. No, he tucks it away, rolls it over his body. It was a good call by the officials. No fumble.
Third down and 17. Dombrowski complete at the 49-yard line. And a first down.
When you see it from the end zone, this is a rifle shot. Dombrowski goes out and up, and he's uncovered. Penn State did not see him. He is completely wide open. Finally, Harris recognizes a legal catch. 1 foot, 2 feet in bounds before he stepped out. Good play, good execution.
So the Panthers keeping the drive alive. Alabama has scored. They lead Auburn 7-3. Remember, a Bama win or a tie, and Alabama goes to the Sugar Bowl. A loss, and Georgia would go. From the 49, Marino forced to scramble again. Floats one, juggled, and caught at the 41-yard line by Cliff Moore, number 81.
From the end zone, watch Marino have to scramble. The rush forces him out of the pocket just a little bit to the right. Now he's going to throw off balance. Moore comes back to the ball, controls it momentarily, but catches it on the way down after it was knocked loose by Harris.
Marino 14 of 25 for 199 yards. McMillan dropped at the 41-yard line by Ron Walczak, number 40.
Let's watch stats at the end of the third quarter. Still, all Pittsburgh. Look at these numbers. 18 first downs to 6. Total yards, 350 to 163. Dominated by Pittsburgh's offense and defense.
And look at the time of possession, almost 2-1. Penn State's 2 touchdowns coming on big plays. Suey, 65-yard run. Warner, 95-yard run back. Third and short, they go to the air and incomplete. Intended for Benji Pryor. Ron Walczak came through to put the pressure on Marino that time.
And it's a good thing he did, because Pryor was wide open on the tight end across, but Marino had to throw it before the pattern developed.
Schubert, the field goal kicker, but he's not going to come in here because the line of scrimmage is the 43. Instead, it will be Marino to punt. On 4th and 2, Penn State sending nobody back deep. They have Tricano in there at quarterback, and he takes the snap, the fake punt, but the fumble, and it really doesn't matter who recovers. It's going to be Penn State's ball. Danny Marino getting his right leg cramped. They have cramped up as you look at his numbers for the day.
Just a sensational game for this young freshman against the good Penn State defense.
Penn State taking over at the 44-yard line. It's still the freshman Constedler and the quarterback. Donovan is in motion. The pitch goes to Warner. Gets a nice block from Suey. And run out of bounds in front of Jackie Sherrill at the 45-yard line.
Let's
Here's
watch
the play again.
Let's go back real quickly. This is a punt formation play. Tricano is taking his only snap so far in the ball game. He juggled it. He didn't put it in the pocket of McMillan, number 40. Result, the fumble, and a big gamble by Pittsburgh.
We have a penalty against Penn State.
Sometimes on an end run, the flanker clips, and that's what happened. It appeared. Number 19, Donovan, the flanker, clipped the linebacker.
Holding call against Penn State. A reminder coming up, the Oakland Raiders coming off the win over Denver last week. The New Orleans Saints tied with the Rams on top NFC West. Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern time. First down from the 29-yard line. It's 1st and 25 after the penalty. Suey out to the 34-yard line. JoJo Heath came up to make the stop from the secondary. So it's 2nd down and 20 with a freshman quarterback in there.
Well, it's painfully apparent, I think, for Penn State fans that they've had no success throwing the football. Pittsburgh is ignoring the pass and rushing everybody, trying to give the young freshman for Penn State a tough time.
And when you run against Pitt also, it's compounded because that's the strength of their defense. 2nd down and 20 from the 34-yard line. Hostetler setting up, throwing complete to midfield. Brad Scoville made the catch at the 50-yard line. They're shy of the first down by about 4.
Joe Paterno told me yesterday that this young freshman, Hostetler, has a rifle for an arm. He just lacks experience, but here is an example of a strong arm when he can set up like this and drill the ball this deep to a tight end, and the ball, and Hugh Green right on top of him. Finally, Heath and Felder bring it down. Brad Scoville, 3rd down.
3rd and 4 from the 50. Penn State going with the win in the 4th quarter. Hostetler. Down he goes. It's Green again. Carlton Williamson came through to apply the initial pressure, and then Hugh Green.
Let's watch number 99, Hugh Green, 2-time All-American. It's a rollout pass coming right at him. As soon as he gets through the block, watch him close the gap and grab Hostetler and finally bring him to the ground. Hostetler's strong.
Jack Amaro, the Penn State punter. Particularly good kick this time. Fair catch call for and made at the 31-yard line by Pappy Thomas. Pitt has it, 31, 10:47 to go. Pitt 23, Penn State 14. 10:47 to play. Pittsburgh leading by 9, and the Panthers have it at their own 31-yard line, 1st and 10. McMillan, 4 yards. Chet Parlavecchio, remember, he is spelling Lance Mel out with a back injury. Mel played a bit in the first half, but has not played in the second, as you look at Jerry Boyarski. A report that we had from New York with Texas out in front, 7-3 over Texas A&M in the 2nd quarter. Second and 7. Brewster Jones, and Larry Kubin is there to wrap him up, number 74. This is a unit that had Millen and Clark at the beginning of the season, both All-American tackles. So Kubin is sort of in the same relative position that Ricky Jackson's in vis-a-vis Hugh Green at Pittsburgh.
Kubin could be a great fullback according to Joe Paterno. He has the speed and quickness, is just an outstanding athlete, which was evidence on that play to throw Jones for no gain. Larry Kubin, number 74.
3rd down and 7. Pitt from the 34-yard line. Marino looking for Pryor, and it's tipped and caught by Benji after it was almost intercepted by Steve Griffiths. Big break for Pittsburgh.
From the end zone, let's watch how lucky you can be. Steve Griffiths, number 52, should intercept this pass. Watch it. It goes right through his hands, but through concentration by Benji Pryor, just an outstanding football play of completion, and that's the old tip drill that we use all the time in practice.
Brewster Jones with equipment repair from the 49-yard line. It is Freddie Jacobs, number 44, gaining 2 or 3. It'll be 2nd down, let's call it 7, at the 46-yard line.
Al, going back to recap, the things that surprised me so far is Pittsburgh's ability to run and throw. They have not had success running, only passing, but in this game, they mixed it up and put extreme pressure on this Penn State defense.
McMillan in particular had a great first half. He's the sole running back in this set on 2nd down and 8 from the 46-yard line. Marino, look at the time he has, and McMillan can't hold on. He was covered on the play by Chet Parlavecchio.
The other surprise in the first half and through the third quarter was Penn State's inability to run or throw the football. And when that happens, the defense of Penn State, which is outstanding in speed, quickness, and lateral movement, has had a field day.
It's been a scoreless second half. Pittsburgh leading 23-14. 3rd down and 7 from the 46. Marino, incomplete. Benji Pryor fell down. He was the intended receiver. Alabama has scored again. 14-3 tied. Second quarter. All the scores updated for you on the Prudential College scoreboard following the game. And of course, coming up, the Army-Navy game at 4 o'clock. Wide World returning next Saturday. Be interesting to see how the Americans do in that World Gymnastics Championship. Good team. Connor and Thomas, Kathy Johnson, Marsha Frederick. From the 17-yard line. Still Hostetler, the freshman, keeping and dropped at the 27-yard line. Hugh Green is incredible. He ran a circle pattern and is here to make the stop.
That's exactly what he did. He came from the left defensive side all the way from the back side. Let's watch him again. You're going to see Hostetler rolling to the left. Watch the left corner of your screen. As you'll see, Hugh Green, two-time All-American, number 99, from the back door. Wow.
He really has lived up to all advanced billing. 2nd down and inches. Kurt Warner slipping a tackle and then getting the first down. Out to the 32-yard line, Ricky Jackson made the stop. There are the figures on Green. Remember, a lot of teams try to run away from Green, and still he leads the team in tackles. He's all over the field. He can play any of 3 different defensive positions. He can probably play goalie in hockey. You name it. Whatever you can think of, Green can do.
He's what we call a possession stopper. He can give the bad play and force a punt anytime the other team are moving the ball.
First half, Penn State from the 33-yard line. Booker Moore in motion. And it's Suey stopped as he goes through the middle on a relatively odd play in light of the fact you've got only 7 minutes to go and you're down by 9. You're running through the middle. That's strange.
I was going to mention that, Al. The clock is definite ally of Pittsburgh right now. Less than 7 minutes, 2 scores. They've got to have, to win the ball game, they've got to have 2 scores, touchdown and at least a field goal. Time is running out.
The only advantage to Penn State right now is they're going with the win. 2nd down and 7 at the 35-yard line. Joel Coles is in, slotted to the right. Hostetler. The receiver wasn't looking. Donovan was open for a moment underneath, but he didn't turn around.
It's a little bit of a surprise because Donovan, the wide receiver, should have recognized that there was an all-out blitz and man-to-man. On the isolation, you'll watch it. The ball is going to hit to the right of Donovan. He's still running the pass route, and the ball goes right by him. It could have been a completion, as you said. The blitz was on, and Hostetler had to throw the ball sooner than he wanted to.
No time for mistakes right now. It's 3rd down and 7. It must be a Buckeye fan. 3rd down and 7. Warner goes in motion. Hostetler looking. He's got to keep it and gets buried by who else? Hugh Green.
That was a sensational tackle. Hostetler, unfortunately, is going to run into Hugh Green again as he rolls to his right. Watch number 99 lasso him in around the head, right there.
Lloyd Free may think he's all-world in basketball, but if there's an all-world in football, that's him right there.
He's had a sensational game.
Ralph Giacomaro to punt for Penn State. JoJo Heath takes it at the 24. The blocking setting up, but Heath is nailed at the 31-yard line. Tackled by Dave Papenrod. 6:01 to play. Still 23-14 Panthers. Hugh Green, number 99 of the Pitt Panthers, the dominating factor today. Pitt has the ball back at the 31-yard line. 6 minutes to go. They lead by 9. Fred Jacobs, the tailback in motion. And it's McMillan. That's his 25th carry of the day. He's now picked up 112 yards, stopped by Greg Jones, 99.
Well, the strategy now has got to be that Penn State will try to force Pitt to throw the ball. Pitt is telling their backs, hold on to it, get what you can. If we can't score, punt it and turn the ball game over to our outstanding defense.
Houston on top. Cougars lead 7-0 over Rice in the first.
Come on, Randy, McMillan!
2nd and 8 from the 34.
Come on.
Marino going deep, but incomplete. The intended receiver had gotten out in front. Cliff Moore, 81.
Joe Paterno is one of the great gentlemen the coaching profession has ever had. He teaches his youngsters that they can have fun, and yet his one-loss record is the best in the nation of any coach that's been active for 10 years.
A Renaissance man. I like that man.
I like him too. I like what he stands for.
Very concerned about the game as a whole. Puts everything in perspective. 3rd down and 8 from the 34-yard line. Marino to Jacobs. 1st down. Dropped to the 46-yard line by Walchak.
That's a little gutty call by Marino. I believe he changed it to line of scrimmage. It was a crisscross by the inside and outside man. Let's watch it from the ground level. Marino is looking for the end coming in or the back going out. And of course, Jacobs, number 44, is uncovered and catches the ball and runs for the 1st down, and a big 1st down because the clock is now a big ally of Pittsburgh.
4:56 to play from the 47-yard line. The sole running back is McMillan. He gets the ball and 3 yards to the 50 where Greg Jones meets him.
And is he protecting the football? Both hands on the ball. Don't fumble. The only way that Penn State can get back in the game is if we turn it over and give them the opportunity at this late time.
4.5 to go. Pitt leading. It's been a scoreless second half after a wild first half.
Recapping the penalties, Al, that Pitt State had in the kicking game is really the difference in the score.
That's right.
Touchdown. Can you believe the speed of that big fullback? He outran every Penn State player. Let's see the screen from the end zone and watch the fake and act in on Marino, looking the defense away. Now, watch the excitement. This young man weighs 225, a junior college graduate. Look at him, he looks like a halfback. Look at outruns Harris, outruns all of the Penn State secondary.
And that'll ice it for the Panthers as they now lead 29-14.
Hey, that's worth going back and seeing again. The screen pass, looking to the left by the quarterback, looks the defense off, and you see no Penn State lineman in the play. A good start by McMillan when he cuts inside. This young man, who Jackie Sherrill said was the key to their success this year. Last year, they did not have a big runner to get the tough yardage for him, but the amazing thing is that man's speed.
He turns on the afterburners as he goes in. Pitt has taken a timeout. What they're thinking about here, they started to send in Schubert to kick the extra point, and then Sherrill figured, well, one gives us a 16-point lead, and Penn State could conceivably score twice and make both two-point conversions. But if we go for 2, he's got to figure that's 17, and that's it, with an exclamation point.
Well, the figures for going for 2 is 40%. The across the nation in major college football, 40% of the time when you go for two, you're successful. So let's see what happens here.
Jackie Sherrill trying to get Freddie Jacobs' attention, who finally did.
He was over changing his shoes.
Well, for Joe Paterno, he's in a situation that he has not lived through very often in his career here. He's 12-1 against Pittsburgh. For Joe, it's been a trying year. He told us in the pregame show, despite the trials and tribulations, in a way it's been a very rewarding year. His Panthers right now look like they're going to wind up 7-4 on their way into the Liberty Bowl. His Lions, the Panthers, are on their way to a 10-1 mark. Two-point conversion. Jacobs and McMillan, the running backs. Danny Marino throwing, and it's incomplete. So the conversion is unsuccessful. The clock shows exactly 4 minutes to play. Pittsburgh leads Penn State 29-14. 4 minutes to play. Pitt leading Penn State 29-14. Kurt Warner 25, Joel Coles 20. To receive for the Lions with Dave Trout.
And Warner, number 25, returned the kickoff in the first quarter, 95 yards for a touchdown.
Trout's kick in Warner's direction. Good kick into the wind. Drops it. That'll do it. Right now, let's check in with Dave Giles in New York. Penn State at the 20-yard line. 4 minutes to play. Hostetler, the freshman quarterback. And he can't get out of bounds. Stopped at the 23-yard line. Well, our Chevrolet most valuable players had a tough choice with Pitt, but we have selected that man, Randy McMillan, the fullback. Caught 2 passes, 1 for a touchdown. He's also had a great day on the ground. He's rushed for 2 touchdowns. He scored 3 times. He is our Chevy Pitt MVP.
Yeah.
2nd down and 7 from the 23-yard line. Hostetler out of bounds. We had a tough choice. Of course, Hugh Green could win that MVP award in almost any Pitt game. We could have given it to you today. He had a sensational day. And there is our Penn State MVP, Matt Suhey, capping a great career at Penn State. Had the 65-yard touchdown burst through the middle in the first quarter. Chevrolet granting a $1,000 award to the General Scholarship Fund at each school. McMillan, our MVP Pitt. Suhey, our MVP for the Lions. 3rd and 7 from the 23-yard line. Hostetler complete over the middle, and out to the 38-yard line goes Brad Scoville for the first down. 3:10 to go.
Number 80, Brad Scoville, is a walk-on. The youngster is developing an outstanding receiver. You see a good disciplined route. He's wide open. Finally, Ricky Jackson, number 87, comes from the other side, and he is sensational, Al, just as you said earlier.
First down, Penn State from the 39-yard line. Suhey on the delay gets 10 to the 49-yard line. Again, it's Ricky Jackson making the stop. But the clock solidly in Pitt's favor right now. They lead by 15.
One of the big things about 3rd down conversions, Penn State only had 1 3rd down conversion out of 13 in the ball game.
9.5-yard pickup that time for Suhey. It's 2nd down and a half. Matt over the 100 mark today. And Hostetler almost has it picked off. Ricky Jackson, number 87. Remember, he's the other end to Hugh Green.
From the end zone, it's a rollout pass. Ricky Jackson's a defensive end. He's dropped off, defending in the flat, and he comes close to intercept. Let's see. Goes right there, and he can't quite control it, but what a great effort he makes. This Penn State defense has been sensational during the entire ball game.
Jackie Sherrill, a nice 36th birthday present for Jackie, who turned 36 last week. First down. Warner through the middle with 2:14 to go. The executive producer of NCAA football is Roone Arledge. Senior producer Chuck Howard. Today's game produced by Bob Goodrich, directed by Larry Camp, technical director Les Weiss, associate director Bob Hirsch. Oh, the official really took a shot. Chain gang paying the price. Fortunately, it looks like he's all right.
You know, recapping the first half, which was just sensational play on Pittsburgh's part, and 2 great runs by Penn State. Suey and Warner on a kickoff return kept the game close. Pittsburgh has dominated the entire ball game.
2nd down and 10. Penn State at the Pitt 49-yard line. 2:06 remaining. Our technical manager today, Frank Bertoni, union manager Murray Schwartz, David Dinkins, the assistant to the producer. 2nd down and 10 at the 49-yard line. And to the 46 with 2 minutes to play. There's Sercano. We thought we might see a little bit more of the Pitt quarterback today, but it's been Marino all the way. 3rd down and 7. And a first down at the 35-yard line as Brad Scoville hauls it in.
Costello throws a low pitch. Al, you do so much old baseball. You know, it's hard to hit that low pitch.
Yep.
Well, it's hard to intercept a low pass. And you'll see why. Because the receiver, Scoville, is going to come back to the ball. It's real low. The defense can't get there.
Knee-high strike. 34-yard line. It's thrown out of bounds with 1:42 to go. Tom Donovan, the intended receiver.
Well, this is a big win for Pittsburgh, and let's give them credit. They were 9-1 coming into the ball game. Their program is just, the resurgence of Pittsburgh has made a big difference in the Eastern football.
That's right. They came off a national championship in '76. They had good teams over the past 2 years. A real fine club this year, 10-1, and almost everybody is back. Woo. They return 16 of 22 starters. 2nd and 10. Hostetler looking for the sideline and finds it at the 26-yard line. Gets out of bounds there. Scores on our Prudential College scoreboard to follow. And then coming up in about 15 minutes or so, it'll be the Army-Navy game from Philadelphia.
What a traditional game that has been through the years. Never seen one.
You've never done one of those?
Never done one.
Now the clock running with 51 seconds. Now Paterno saying stop it, and they do. So a costly play for the Lions. If they've been able to somehow score, it would have been interesting.
Yes, it would have, because an onside kick and a deep pass and a penalty or a completion, and the game is up and down.
NCAA football, Pitt at Penn State, brought to you by Goodyear Tiempo, the all-season radial that eliminates winter tire changeover, and by Schlitz Malt Liquor, a special premium brew that's in a class by itself. Don't say beer, say bull. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. Thank our crew in the booth. Gentlemen had a great year. Kelly Hayes, the Palisades High Flash. George Hill, the Husky honcho from the University of Washington. Great job on spotting and stats. Jackie Sherrill, a loser in his first 2 confrontations with Paterno, but on the verge right now. 4th down and 14 from the 20-yard line. And Hostetler wrapped up, and that'll definitely do it. Meisner and who else? Hugh Green. Very appropriate that Green would be in on the play that will wrap it up for the Panthers.
Ladies and gentlemen,
look at it quickly again. Hostetler's rolling out. Green has, as I said earlier, the quickness to close the gap. Watch him just surge forward and grab Hostetler, pull him around a little bit, and then Greg Meisner finishes him off.
41 seconds remaining. Rick Tricano comes in at quarterback. Tricano missing the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. Healthy today, but it's been Marino leading the attack until the waning seconds.
Marino's just been sensational.
He has. tremendous poise, great arm, a leader. Danny finished 17 of 32 for 279 yards today.
That is incredible for a freshman in a pressure game such as this. Just incredible. What a future the young man has.
What a future that man has, too. Jackie Sherrill, in terms of what Pitt can do next season. Almost the entire squad returns. Marino will only be a sophomore. Tricano comes back. He's only a junior.
Did you say 16 returned?
16 out of 22, including
Wow.
9 on the defense. And Hugh Green. .33 seconds.
Penn State's last and final timeout of the regular season.
Travel arrangements were made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. More people fly United to Hawaii than any other airline. Penn State, that was their last time out. Paterno doesn't give up ever. Hoping for a miracle. Tricano leading them up on what could be the final play of the game. Rick will just fall on it. And it should do it.
They do not have to snap the ball again. 21 seconds. They can stay in the huddle until the game is over.
And that's what they'll elect to do. So, for only the second time in 14 years, the Panthers have won it. They came in confident and finished the season 10-1, go to the Fiesta Bowl. Penn State 7-4, on to the Liberty Bowl. Final score, 29.
A couple of reasons for that. One, the Sugar Bowl game is played here. Alabama and Arkansas will meet in the Sugar Bowl. That's upcoming. I'm Keith Jackson. And before we really start looking into what is coming up, let's go back to January 1, 1979. Back to the ball game between Alabama and Penn State. 6 minutes and 44 seconds to play in the ball game. The national championship on the line. Penn State had the football right here. So close. And across the way, the yard markers told the whole story. Let's begin with a memory of one of the great moments in college football.
The yard marker in the Sugar Bowl shows a half a yard to go for the touchdown and the possibility of tying or going ahead for Penn State. 19-game win streak, only undefeated team in the country, ranked #1 in the nation. Alabama ranked #2. Everything could be hanging on 4th and goal with a half a yard. Gooman, he didn't make it.
I thought Chuck Corral, the center for Penn State, summed it up best when he said, there was enough glory for both sides. It was a great moment, to be sure. Back in 1961, Paul Bryant had an undefeated team at Alabama. They came to the Sugar Bowl, played then over at old Tulane Stadium, which is now coming down. They played Arkansas, the only time that Alabama and Arkansas have ever met in football, and Alabama won the ball game by a score of 10-3 and became Paul Bryant's first national championship team at Alabama. So here we go now with Alabama-Arkansas, January 1, 1980. Two very good teams. Alabama undefeated. Arkansas lost one time narrowly. And a team that probably could beat anybody. And the Sugar Bowl game between the Tide and the Razorbacks will be one of the games that will ultimately decide which team will be the national champion. Let's have a look at those two teams.
I think this is one of those games where you could sell 150,000 tickets if you had a house big enough to hold them. Arkansas's allocation, 12,500. All those tickets gone within hours. In fact, they had been pre-ordered. Obviously, Alabama's tickets all gone. The Crimson Tide rolls into the Sugar Bowl this year with 20 consecutive wins, the longest winning string in Division I. Bear Bryant, the first coach ever to win 100 games in a single decade. This man, number 10, Stedman Shealy, is healthy and playing very well, leading the team in total offense, with shots like that to acrobatic end Keith Pugh.
But Stedman Sheila is going to have to stay healthy for Alabama because the backup quarterback, Don Jacobs, is out with knee surgery. And Major Ogilvy is another key man for the Alabama wishbone attack. He played such a major role last year in beating Penn State for the national championship. Alabama first in offense, first in defense in the Southeastern Conference, and I guess that ought to add up to first place. That's where they are. The defense, well, somebody said earlier this year the best football game in the Southeastern Conference in 1979 might be Alabama's offense against Alabama's defense. If you think about it, that might be very true. But the team the Tide plays on January 1 is a very good football team. Arkansas's only lost 13-10 to Houston in Fayetteville, a game they could have won. Co-champion Southwest Conference, Lou Holtz, 30 wins, 4 losses, and a tie. He says about this year's team, it's the only team to win 10 games without the opposition ever conceding that we won. Kevin Scanlon, the senior quarterback, completed 63% of his passes. Arkansas excels at factors that win football games. They have a good kicking game. They lost only 13 fumbles. They had 6 interceptions. And they will usually exercise field position, often saving a series of plays for that field position opportunity. Arkansas allowed 9.3 points per game. Alabama allowed 5.3 points per game. It figures to be a low-scoring football game in New Orleans January 1st. But it is a game that will figure. And which team is the national champion at the end of the postseason season? Alabama, Arkansas, Sugar Bowl. The Orange Bowl matches up Florida State and Oklahoma. It is a landmark moment for the Seminoles of Florida State, ignored last year for all the bowls with an 8-3 record. Oklahoma coming because they beat Nebraska for the Big 8 championship. This man, Coach Bobby Bowden at Florida State, has turned everything around in Tallahassee.
We came to Florida State, and the first year we lost 6 ball games. And the second year, we won 10. Now, that really surprised me more than anything because we have been kind of on a 4-year plan, and this is the culmination of 4 years. And we were very fortunate to finish this year undefeated. Now, we've accomplished 2 things, especially. One, we got into the first 10 for the first time ever for Florida State University. Number 2, we got our first major bowl bid. I'm talking about the top 4 bowls. Florida State has been in bowls, but never in the top 4. And these are hurdles that we had to climb to get the credibility that we need, because I think that once we have gotten into the Orange Bowl, that now if we can come up with some good seasons, that people are likely to grab Florida State. We are an offensive, pass-oriented football team, which is very exciting. You know, if we can throw and catch well those days. And so if we can win, I think we've climbed the last hurdle that we're going to have to climb.
The Seminoles are a football team with a 15-game winning streak, and they are high in Tallahassee. The quarterbacks are Wally Woodham, senior Tallahassee, Jimmy Jordan, senior Tallahassee. Collectively, they have passed for 7,723 yards and 61 touchdowns in their careers at Florida State. It is unusual that a team can do so well using 2 quarterbacks, but they've made it work under Bobby Bowden. And there are plenty of people to help him these days, like the big fullback, a 225-pound senior out of Buffalo, New York, Mark Lyle. He ran for over 1,000 yards this year, and he is the only second 1,000-yard man in Seminole history. Ron Simmons, the nose guard, he is an All-American. But he and the Seminole defense will have their hands full come New Year's night in Miami's Orange Bowl, because the Oklahoma Sooners are a very good football team, getting better all the time. It's a young football team that obviously has improved steadily. And in the ball game against Nebraska, the Sooners had to win it to get the trip to the Orange Bowl. Remember this play by the great Billy Sims, the 1978 Heisman winner? He lost part of that run because of a clipping violation and the touchdown, but he figured heavily in the ultimate outcome of the game. This a very big play, a lapse in Nebraska's defense, where the tight end Valora got loose and romped in virtually alone. Now watch Sims here as he explodes through the crowd. And as he put it in post-game comments, he thought he'd score here, but he couldn't get both legs in sync. One going south and one going north. Ultimately, it was J.C. Watts that dove in for the touchdown that locked it 17-14 over Nebraska and put the Oklahoma Sooners back in the Orange Bowl again. Barry Switzer, remarkable coaching career. 72, 7-2 in 7 seasons, and his teams have been in the top 10 every year.
The Liberty Bowl kicks off a